Bom dia, pessoal. Hoje. Bom dia. A ideia é um longo hoje. Então, dá uma nada aqui. Fazer o Campinas Fortaleza. A escala estava como. Porém, aqui 320 lá eu consegui fazer a alteração. E dá pra gente fazer com o 20 aqui então. Para iniciar pelo nosso airport briefing aqui de Campinas. As ameaças que nós temos é o risco de balões, obstáculos, pássaros, aviação geral e só isso hoje na parte da manhã. A decolagem hoje vai ser pela pista no 5, então não tem. A gente decide, a gente consegue cumprir. Para a nossa operação do Airbus 320 está bem tranquilo, nada de normal. Nós temos uma OSCID para a pista no 5, a curva vai ser à direita para o 002 VCP, 01 VCP já colocado também no nosso Second Flight Plan aqui. Para o setor noroeste, afastado 13 milhas do aeródromo, aí a gente tenta manter inclusive uma altitude segura para caso necessário a gente retornar para a pista aqui. Eles têm mais alguma observação no final do airport briefing. Bem, nossa saída. Os ameaças já comentadas aqui, então são o risco de pássaros, que é uma das nossas atenções aqui maiores para a nossa operação. A pista vai ser 1 no 5, a saída vai ser The 6 no Alpha, 3.200 curva esquerda já para The 6, limitada a 7.000. Vou colocar aqui no Output Selector 7.000. Legal que eu estou ouvindo a fonia real nesse momento. Os aviões que estão decolando são realmente os aviões que estão saindo nesse momento mesmo, agora a parte da manhã. O Kibev e Smob, uma saidinha que sai um pouquinho mais para o norte aqui por conta das saídas que vão para Belo Horizonte e Brasília. Usa o Kibev nessa daqui. Nosso departure então, nossa MSA para esse setor aqui, 4.800 e a Transition vai ser 8.000. Aproveitar sobre os hotspots aqui agora para a pista no 5. Táxi previsto, então a gente está na posição 067108, se eu não me engano. Estão próximos a Quilo 1 aqui, que é a travessa da Quilo 1, a Lima 1 que a gente vai passar aqui agora. Já vamos revisar quais são os ali. E aí previsto Delta até o ponto de espera da pista 8, na 1 no 5. Então só essa daqui que a gente vai passar, ó. A November 1, a Lima 1 para Delta. Ou então a gente descendo lá na última, lá na Mike. Atenção com relação ao ingresso na Delta. O extra fuel a gente está com 1h24, se não me engano. 1h44 minutos. Performance já rodada, já configurada aqui também. Pela performance também já está tudo dentro do balanceado da aeronave, sem nenhum risco para configuração. E caso a gente retorno, como a curva vai ser à direita, a gente vai ingressar pelo 104 para o ILS Zulu novamente, voltando para Campinas. Dentro da nossa saída, acho que são esses os riscos. Vou deixar aqui a carta novamente aberta com a nossa... o nosso táxi, facilitar nosso táxi, beleza? Vamos lá fazer a externa e a gente vai fazer o report.
2704, solo 24, na Alfa 129, após aí. O 2531, decolagem autorizada no 5 metros, 30 graus, 8 nós, doutor depósito, 32, Tomahawk.
Estranho que toda vez a cauda ela fica torta para algum lado. O Airbus Tá. Airbus no... Vazamento. Ataque então. Revisados todos o OIB dessa operação de hoje.
10 graus, 7 nós, controle 1 no 3575, por volta.
Da externa, já que a gente está usando mais, agora a gente já está na APU direto. Aural, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Setado. Até hoje então. Check. Off. Touch. Certo. Off. Engine. 9. Hydraulic. Todos dentro da capacidade.
Bom dia, Lima, tem piso
Oxigênio.
4282.
E a frequência 2,8 na sequência 2. Open. Está monitorando 2 também. Dado 2. Hey ground, oxygen test.
Okay, headset removed. Go ahead with the test.
Thank you.
4282, decolagem autorizada, pistão no 5, vento 1, 40 graus, 7 nós. Controle após decolagem 1 no 35,75 com o
Approach airport 70,000. Door. Before activate preparation checklist.
Cockpit preparation checklist. Gear pins and covers.
Removed.
Fuel quantity.
12,500 kilograms.
Seatbelts.
On.
Addons.
Nav.
Vero ref.
Set.
1013. Set. Cockpit preparation checklist complete.
Vai pegar a cópia. Ready to copy.
Viracopos International Information Tango 11-0 Zulu winds are 132 at 9 knots. Visibility unrestricted. 4,500 few clouds. Temperature 19. Dew point 16. Current QNH is 1019er. Arriving and departing runway 15. Virac.
$47.83, ready to copy.
Aircraft calling clearance delivery, say again with your call sign.
4763, ready to copy.
4763 is cleared to Sierra Bravo Foxtrot Zulu. Climb via the deck C2A departure, with the ISMUP transition, then as filed. Expect departure runway 15. Climb to 2,000 feet via the departure.
2,000.
Expect higher clearances minutes after departure. Squawk 4063.
Azul. 4763, we are clear to Fox Zulu via departure D62 Alpha, departure runway 15. Squawk 4063, Azul 4783.
Azul 4763, read back correct. QNH is 1019er, contact ground on 121.9er when ready for pushback. Have a good morning.
121.9, Azul 4763. 1.9er. Bom, já estamos prontos. Só ver se eu já recebi aqui alguma alteração. Messages. E a nossa Logitech final chegou. Vou dar um acerto nela aqui.
4840 autorizado, linha aérea decolada.
Então vai dar 31.
Ona 30 graus 8 nós. Controle após decolagem, Ona 321, bom voo.
Right. 12.547. Herbert on Cap Delay. Maravilha. Então 31% CG. Já balanceado. Feita a cópia. Já vou solicitar o tag aqui pra gente. Caramba, domingão tá movimentado aqui hoje, hein? Olha. Tá de aeronave. Ground from cockpit.
Go ahead.
Request pushback tug, position 108.
Can I request strike now?
Yes, please.
Just a moment. The tow is coming.
Bom, o tug já está aqui embaixo, vou solicitar autorização. 4763, request pushback.
4763, say again.
4763, request pushback.
4763, pushback approved.
Pushback approved, 4763. Baixo, autorização. Manga. Lights off. For start checklist.
Before start checklist. ATC.
Auto.
Parking brake.
Set.
Takeoff speeds and thrust.
V1 141, VR 1450, V154, flex temp 47.
V1 141, VR 150, V2 153, flex 47. Windows.
Closed.
Closed. Beacon.
On.
Before start checklist complete.
Então pushback já tá aqui embaixo. Parking brake ali.
Embarque encerrado. Em consideração aos clientes que compraram o espaço
Ground.
azul, pedimos que se mantenham nos assentos marcados em seu
Hey, ground. Are we clear to start?
Experimente esse conforto extra, comprando pela internet.
Bom dia, Azul 2003, está autorizado, linha aérea decolada, Ona 5, vento Ona 30 graus 7 nós. Controle após decolagem, Ona 3575, bom voo.
Patinha, gente.
Apresento as boas-vindas para este voo, em parceria com a TAP United. Já fechamos as portas, então todos os equipamentos eletrônicos devem ser colocados em modo avião. Peço que afivende o cinto de segurança, coloque seu encosto na posição vertical, trave a mesinha e abra a persiana da janela.
Parking brake. Here to disconnect. Starting engine 1. Graus. 19. Coordinate height. After start checklist.
After start checklist. Anti-ice.
Off.
ACAM status.
Check it.
Pitch trim.
31%.
Rudder trim.
0.
After start checklist complete.
Flight controls check.
Let's go. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Rudder now.
Okay. Full left. Full right. Neutral.
.4760. Press taxi.
4763 taxi to runway 15 via taxiways Delta. Hold short runway 15.
Delta, runway 15, Azul, 4675. Clear right side.
Clear left side.
Coordenação de Viracopos, Cabo. 47 mesmo. Está iniciando o táxi, falar da pista 1.
Ali mantenha o seu 5 azul 47.
Brake check.
Como responsáveis por
Taxi
sua
checklist.
segurança e conforto
Taxi checklist.
durante toda a viagem,
Flight controls.
pedimos a sua
Check.
atenção aos
Checked.
procedimentos que
Flap settings.
apresentaremos a
Config
seguir.
1 plus F.
Config 1 plus F. Radar and predictive wind shear system.
On and out.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
ACAM memo.
Take off, no blue.
Taxi checklist complete. Confirm.
Luzes sinalizadoras no piso e no teto indicarão o caminho para as saídas de emergência, que estão assim localizadas. Localize a saída mais próxima, lembrando que ela poderá estar atrás de você. Se for necessária uma evacuação de emergência, deixe para trás todos os seus pertences. Em caso de despressurização, máscaras para oxigênio cairão do compartimento acima de seu assento. Imediatamente puxe a máscara para liberar o fluxo de oxigênio. Coloque a máscara
Azul 4763 contact tower on 118.25. Have a great flight.
após ter fixado a sonda.
Incrível.
Lembre-se de remover a máscara de proteção antes de usar a máscara de oxigênio do avião. Se um pouso de emergência ocorrer na água, use o colete salva-vidas que se encontra embaixo de seu assento. Vista e ajuste-o conforme demonstrado. Para inflar o colete, puxe os comandos vermelhos ou sopre pelos tubos. Somente infle o colete ao abandonar a aeronave. Essas e outras informações importantes estão em um cartão com instruções de segurança no bolso da poltrona à sua frente.
4763, ready for departure.
4763 hold short for traffic on final runway 15.
Hold short runway 15.
Azul 4763, this is Campinas Tower on 118.25. Please repeat your request.
Tá na curta já ou não? Ah, tá bem.
Spoilers.
Hold.
Reverse green.
Hold checklist.
Decolagem autorizada, ONU 5, vento 130 graus, 7 nós. Controle ONU 321, bom voo. Iniciando rolagem ONU 5, após controle 321, azul 4765, bom dia. Azul 2667, a linha mantém pistão ONU 5. A linha é mantendo azul 2667.
Boa. Colocar menos tempo daquele negócio de desaparecer o tráfego. Clear right side.
Clear left side.
Take off runway 15.
Confirm.
Great. Excellent. Line up checklist.
Line up checklist. Cabin crew.
Advised.
Takeoff runway.
Confirm.
06. Confirm. TCAS.
Yay, array.
Pack 1 and 2.
Off.
Departure change.
Not applicable.
Not applicable. Line up checklist complete.
Vamos aparecer daí.
Azul 4763 lineup and wait. Runway 15.
Line up and wait. 4760. Tripulação para
Azul
fazer force.
4763 winds are 132 at 9 knots cleared for takeoff.
Para coordenação em Ribeirão Preto, aqui é o Papa Tango e Vitor Delta, está se aproximando pelo setor sul, mantendo o nível 080. No momento vai iniciar a descida até 5.000 pés na proa do Romeu Papa 007. Coordenou em Ribeirão Preto, Papa Tango e Vitor Delta.
Morning, hold short of 15, Merchant Air 7762.
Hold short of 15.
Take off. Take off.
Let's go.
Flex 47 SRS runway on thrust pull.
Checked. Thrust set. knots.
Check it.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up.
O hangar da firma tá vazio hoje.
Decolagem autorizada no 5, vento 130 graus, 7 knots. Controle 1321, bom voo.
Azul 4763, descend and maintain 2,000 feet.
Merchant Air 7762, line up and wait for runway 15.
Line up and wait for runway 15. Merchant Air 7762.
Set autopilot on.
Autopilot on set.
Já subi. Será já subir. Não 340 porque está limitado.
Azul 4763, contact Brasilia Center on 126.15. Enjoy your morning.
126.15 Azul 2672.
Cleared for takeoff, 15.130 degrees, 7 knots.
Brasilia Center Azul 2673.
Azul 4763, good morning.
Speed check. Flaps 0.
Azul 4763, expect the ILS approach to runway 13 with the FLZ transition at Pinto Martins International.
Tá me passando já a chegada em Fortaleza.
Azul 4763, descend and maintain 2,000 feet.
Ah, no final, tá aqui no. Não pode estar errado. Vai ser 4-0. Elvis. Dockside. Some of this direto do back, stress climb.
Coordenação em Ribeirão Preto, Papa Tango Whisky Victor Delta, passou o Romeu Papa 011, tá na longa final da 36, instrumento simulado, Whisky Victor Delta.
Transition.
Almost forgot. Transition altitude.
That's standard.
Standard set, passing 6,100 feet.
Correct. Below the line.
Altimeters.
Standard. By set.
Standard set. After takeoff checklist completed.
Tripulação 10.000 pés.
Durante o voo, você pode usar a função modo avião de seu celular ou aparelho eletrônico. Desejamos que você tenha uma ótima
340, Optimum 330, máximo 360. Então, tranquilo.
Coordenação Campinas Azul 2720 está descendo para o ILS Zulu, pista no 5.
Tô passando 10.000 pés. Vou sair aqui do VE, ficar mais confortável.
Azul 4049 ali e mantém posição no 5.
na decolagem. Passa a saída. Cara, quase um caindo em cima.
Decolagem autorizada. Ventando 20 com 7 nós. Controle 1321 no bom rolo. Decolagem autorizada no 5, vento 1 a 30 graus, 7 nós. Controle 13575 bom. Azul 2508, a linha mantém pistão.
Para tráfego de Campinas 2720, tá na flor de Utilote, tá 31 milhas, sentido tráfego na próxima.
Coordenação em Campinas, o azul 4222, logo mais, será sua descida para Campinas. Azul 2508, decolagem autorizada, 5 controle 132 no bom rolo. Autorizada a decolagem, controle da porta 321, cuidado, Azul 2621, autorizado alinhar e manter pistão no 5. Norte tá voando Irema. Logo mais vai iniciar nesse tempo.
Pode ser. É o mais chatinho.
The aircraft is equipped with FMS-2 Honeywell Release 1 AH2C and FGPC-18. The aircraft is equipped with FMS-2 Thales Release 1 AS7B and FGPC-18. The Flight Management Guidance System, FMGS, contains the following units: 2 Flight Management Guidance Computers, FMGC, 2 Multi-Purpose Control and Display Units, MCDU, 3rd MCDU optional, 1 Flight Control Unit, FCU, 2 Flight Augmentation Computers, FAC. The Flight Management and Guidance System, FMGS, provides predictions of flight time, mileage, speed, economy profiles, and altitude. It reduces cockpit workload, improves efficiency, and eliminates many routine operations generally performed by the flight crew. The Flight Management Guidance System, FMGS, operates as follows. During cockpit preparation, the flight crew uses the Multi-Purpose Control and Display Unit, MCDU, to insert a pre-planned route from origin to destination. This route includes SID, en route, waypoints, star, approach, missed approach. An ALT en route is available from the navigation database. Subsequently, the system defines a vertical profile and a speed profile, taking into account AT requirements and performance criteria. Either FMGC performs all operations. If one FMGC fails, the FMGS computes the aircraft position continually, using stored aircraft performance data and navigation data. Therefore, it can steer the aircraft along a pre-planned route and vertical and speed profiles. This type of guidance is said to be managed if the flight crew wants to modify any flight parameter, SPD, VS, HDG, etc., temporarily. They may do so by using the various flight control unit, FCU, selectors. The FMGS then guides the aircraft to the target value of this parameter that they have selected. This type of guidance is said to be selected. The two available types of guidance, then, are managed guidance guides the aircraft along the pre-planned route in the vertical and speed Mach profile. The FMGS computes the target values of the various flight parameters. Selected guidance guides the aircraft to the target values of the various flight parameters the flight crew selects by using the FCU selectors. Selected guidance always has priority over managed guidance.
Selected guidance has priority over. O comando tem.
ACH-FMGC is divided into two main parts. The Flight Management, FM, part controls the following functions: navigation and management of navigation radios, management of flight planning, prediction, and optimization of performance, display management. The Flight Guidance, FG, part performs the following functions: autopilot, AP, command, flight director, FD, command, autothrust, ATHR, command.
Flight name, flight guidance, flight director, autothrust.
A320, A321, FLAi. Each FMGC has its own set of databases. The individual databases can be independently loaded into their respective FMGC, or independently copied from one FMGC to the other. Each FMGC contains these main databases. 1. The navigation database contains standard navigation data, navades, waypoints, airways, and route information, holding patterns, airports, runways, procedures, SIDs, stars, etc., company routes, alternates. The airline updates this part every 28 days and is responsible for defining, acquiring, updating, loading, and using this data. The updating operation takes 20 minutes to complete or 5 minutes if cross-loaded from the opposite FMGC. Point 2. The airline modifiable information, AMI, also described as the FM airline configuration file, contains airline policy values, THR red altitude, ACC altitude, EOACC altitude, perf factor, IDLE factor, fuel policy values, fuel for taxi, percent of route reserve, maximum and minimum values of route reserve, etc. AOC functions customization.
Essa eu não sabia que era customizável. Fuel policy da companhia estava embutida dentro do FMC. Legal. Sabia.
The aircraft performance database includes the engine model, aerodynamical model, and performance model. The airline cannot modify this database. Point 4. The magnetic variation database. Point 5. Each FMGC contains elements stored by the flight crew that enable them to create 99 waypoints, 10 runways, 20 navades, and 5 routes.
Stored flight crew that would create 99 waypoints. Cara, como é né? Limitação muito grande. G1000, acho que não lembro se tem alguma limitação com relação a isso, cara, mas é muito a limitação deles. Sei que a aeronave é de 1980.
ACH-FMGC is divided into two main parts. The Flight Management, FM, part controls the following functions: navigation and management of navigation radios, management of flight planning, prediction. Flight Director, FD, command.
O manual é muito mais escrito. Mesma coisa que está escrita. Só que... Waypoint. O N waypoints. Acho que... esse daqui é para os 300 reais, se não me engano. E aí ele é bem limitado a 20 waypoints apenas para criação. Então, Control Display Unit.
2 MCDUs are installed on the pedestal for flight crew loading and display of data. The use of the MCDU allows the flight crew to interface with the FMGC by selection of a flight plan for lateral and vertical trajectories and speed profiles. The flight crew may also modify selected navigation or performance data and specific functions of flight management, revised flight plan, engine out, secondary flight plan, etc. Additional data from peripherals, centralized fault display system, CFDS, ARINC communication addressing and recording system, ACARS air traffic service unit, ATSU, can also be displayed. Data that is entered into the MCDU that is illogical or beyond the aircraft capabilities will either be disregarded or will generate an advisory message. The MCDUs allow the activation of the backup navigation in the case of a dual FM failure. The FCU located on the glare shield is the short-term interface between the flight crew and the FMGC. It is used to select any flight parameters or modify those selected in the MCDU. Autopilots and auto-thrust functions may be engaged or disengaged. Different guidance modes can be selected to change various targets, speed, heading, track, altitude, flight path angle, vertical speed. The FAC controls rudder trim, and yaw damper inputs. It computes data for the flight enveloping and speed functions. The FAC also provides warning for low energy and wind shear detection if these functions are installed.
Os FACs, fala flight controls, on flight argument.
The thrust levers are the main interface between the flight management guidance computer, FMGC, the full authority digital engine control system, FADEC, and the flight crew.
Thrust lever.
The thrust levers arm the autothrust at takeoff. When FLX or TOGA is selected, limit the maximum thrust by their position. When auto thrust is active, disconnect the auto thrust system. When the flight crew sets them to idle, command the thrust. Manually, when auto thrust is not active, engage the common modes, take off or go around. When TOGA or FLX for takeoff is set the auto thrust to the active mode when they are between idle and CL. Detent, MCT and engine out. Arm the auto thrust at takeoff when FLX or TOGA is selected. Limit the maximum thrust by their position when auto thrust is active. Disconnect the auto thrust system when the flight crew sets them to idle. Command the thrust manually when auto thrust is not active. Engage the common modes, take off or go around, when TOGA or FLX for takeoff is set. Set the auto thrust to the active mode when they are between idle and CL. Detent, MCT in. Two primary flight displays, PFD and navigation displays, ND, provide the flight crew with full-time flight guidance, navigation and system advisory information for all flight phases. An EFIS control panel is located at each end of the glare shield and is used to control both primary and navigation displays. This panel includes controls to select various modes within the PFD. A selector allows the barometric altimeter setting to be displayed on the PFD. Various distance ranges can be selected on the ND, and two switches allow either the left or right VOR, ADF bearing pointers to be displayed on the ND. One 0PRIMARY flight displays the PFDs combine several conventional flight instrument indications on one color display panel for centralized reference of flight data. This centralized color display includes flight director attitude guidance targets armed and engaged modes navigation and instrument approach information altimeter setting barometric altitude system messages.
Rules elastic and precious aircraft position flight plan. Now invert FD. So performance flight control, flight director, auto thrust commands. É o relógio ligado nessa porra. I use flight augmentation command. É o dumper, rudder trim, flight envelope, radar for rudder trim, é o sistema elétricos. Tanto pelo deck também, FSLABS. Coisa também.
The FMGS has 4 modes of operation. Dual mode, the normal mode. Independent mode, each FMGC being controlled by single mode using one FMGC only. Backup navigation mode. His is the normal mode. The two FMGCs are synchronized. Each performs its own computations and exchanges data with the other through a crosstalk bus. One FMGC is the master, the other the slave. So that some data in the slave FMGC comes from the master. All data inserted into any MCDU is transferred to both FMGCs and to all peripherals.
Master autopilot.
If one autopilot, AP, is engaged, the related FMGC is master.
Ah, faz sentido. Então, o autopilot selecionado que a gente seleciona aqui faz.
It uses the on-site FD for guidance.
Control auto thrust.
It controls the ATHR.
O FMA 1 e 2.
It controls the FMA 1 and 2.
Faz bastante sentido. Então, o FMGC Master é o na qual o autopilot está acoplado no momento. Ou 2. Are engaged. FMGC 1 is Master.
If two APs are engaged, FMGC 1 is master. If no AP is engaged, and
Vai direct 1 on, é Master. Vai direct 1 off e o 2 é 1. Ah, tá. E o 2 vira Master. Pilot, vai director, H. Auto thrust, vou levar FM. Toda vez que a gente está fazendo um CAT 3 dual ou qualquer uma das funções CAT2 também, ele vai estar usando o FMGC 1, já que os dois autopilots são ocupados.
While the system automatically selects this degraded mode under specific abnormal conditions, e.g. different database validity on both FMGCs work independently and are linked only to peripherals on their own sides of the flight deck, on-side peripherals when this occurs. The independent operation message is displayed on both MCDU scratch pads.
Independent operation. Okay, message. Degraded mode.
When this occurs, the independent operation message is displayed on both. Each MCDU transmits data it receives from its on-site FMGC. It affects only the on-site EFIS, Electronic Flight Instrument System, and RMP, Radio Management Panel, on the POS monitor page and GPS monitor page. FMGS position and GPS position from the opposite FMGC is not displayed. On the RAD nav page and PROG page, if the FMGS GPS is not installed, navaids tuned on the opposite MCDU are not displayed. Corresponding fields are blank. If each FMGC is loaded with a different database, the FMGS will only operate in independent mode.
Se a database é diferente, ele fazer cross-check lateral e aí ele tem que trabalhar de forma independente.
Check the database number and validity. Crossload the database to restore the dual operation. Crossload function is available on ground only, in pre-flight or done phase. When an independent operation is detected. FLAi GHTDO not switch the navigation databases. Make the same entries on both MCDUs to have both APFDs similar orders. Both FGs being valid. Two APs may be engaged for CAT2 or CAT3 operations.
Eles podem ser engatados, afinal de contas ele vai estar pegando o database do para poder fazer o... Como a gente já revisou aqui.
In the event of a go-around and when the second AP is disconnected. Ensure that the FMGC in command has correct flight plan orders and an updated nav database. Airbus does not recommend pulling one FMGC circuit breaker to force the system to operate in single mode.
Nossa senhora, que gambiarra. Quem faria um negócio desse? Puxar o CB do FMGC1. FMGC comando. Correct flight plan orders. Did not know. De qualquer forma, isso daqui eu vou ver provavelmente. Ficar cuidando das emergências.
All the flight management system displays navigation, performance and guidance information on the multi-purpose control and display unit (MCDU). Navigation display (ND) of the electronic flight instrument system (EFIS). Primary flight display (PFD) of the EFIS A320.
Perfect. H key. Brightness, proportion. View key, and shaper, overfly.
All general the multi-purpose control and display unit (MCDU) has a liquid crystal display (LCD) with 14 lines of 24 characters each, including a title line that gives the name of the current page in large letters 6 label lines, each of which names the data displayed just below it on the data field line. 6 data field lines that display computed data or data inserted by the flight crew. The scratchpad line that displays specific messages, information the flight crew has entered by means of the number and letter keys, and which can then be moved to one of the data fields. Information the flight crew has entered by means of the number and letter keys, and which can then be moved to one of the data fields.
Time selection. Select does not data. Eu acho que isso daqui seria uma página na qual eu poderia facilmente estudar, cara. Na hora desse... E aí, João, Eu estou usando o Pilot2ATC. Porém, o que você está ouvindo de fonia aí no fundo são fonias reais mesmo que eu estou ouvindo no Live ATC. Overfly, aircraft.
OVFY, overfly, key allows the aircraft to overfly a selected waypoint. Lows to insert a space in specific message. Fail, amber, indicates that the multi-purpose control and display unit, MCDU, has failed. Attach that the flight crew should call up a peripheral link to the MCDU, such as a CARS, OTSU, or CFDS. Comes on while the flight crew is using the MCDU to display peripherals. This light tells the flight crew that the FMGC has an important message to deliver. The flight crew accesses the message by pressing the MCDU MENU key and the line select key adjacent to the FMGC prompt.
FME. Eu peguei essa daqui. Briefer. Top of the outside of outside F. Ah, agora que eu sei de onde que são essas informações. Não. As FMs devem ser essas LEDs que ficam aqui em cima. Não, essa realmente eu não sabia. PM1, 2. Conheci essa. Cara, são coisas diferentes. O FS2Crew, ele é fixo. Você não consegue fazer edição dele, na verdade, João. Por exemplo, o meu aqui, usando o VoiceAttack, eu customizo completamente conforme o SOP da Azul, entendeu? Então eu pego o manual da Azul, vejo quais são os checklists deles, quais são as respostas, quais são os callouts, que os comandos que a gente usa. Então ele é totalmente customizável com a companhia. Se você quer usar uma coisa mais geral, você pode usar o próprio FS2Crew, né? O FS2Crew realmente ele vai dar uma coisa mais generalizada, mais genérica para você usar. Vai ser bem diferente do que eu uso aqui, entendeu? Coisas, por exemplo, até o callout em português. População 10.000 pés. Não vai conseguir fazer isso nunca no FS2Crew, né? Side of the keyboard, FN white. Ah, esse daqui são side. Aí on the top of the keyboard.
I'm Amber. The on-side FM detects an independent mode of operation while both FMARE healthily.
Very green.
Dye green MCDU has passed its power-up test after it was turned off using its dim key. Keys control the light intensity of the entire MCDU. MCDU power-up is performed with the VRT key, and MCDU shutdown is performed with the dim key.
Right. Data entry.
Entry the flight crew enters data by typing it into the scratch pad on the MCDU. Next, pressing the line select key, LSK, will load the data from the scratch pad into the desired field. An error message displays if the data is out of range or not formatted correctly. To correct data, the flight crew may clear the message with a clear CLR key and then retype the message into the scratch pad. Pressing the CLR key when the scratch pad is empty displays CLR. To clear data from a field, select CLR from the scratch pad to the data field to be cleared.
Bom. Ele é por ver, né, João? Ele é como se fosse um negócio de programação mesmo, né? Só que tem toda a parte gráfica lá também, que dá pra poder fazer a alteração dele de forma bem fácil, né? Tipo, você quer que quando eu falar Flaps 1, ele aperta, por exemplo, Shift F7. Ele baixa um dente de flap. Ou então, por exemplo, Gear Down. Você fala Gear Down, ele vai e baixa o trem pra você, porque ele aperta a tecla G lá do teclado na janela que está ativa e a janela do Não é tão difícil fazer essas formatação aí.
Format the flight crew enters information into the MCDU at the bottom line of the scratch pad. When data has lead zeros, they may be omitted if desired. For example, a 3-digit wind direction of 060 may be typed as 60. The display will still show 060. To enter an altitude below 1,000 feet, the lead zero must be added as 0400 for 400 feet. This differentiates the altitude from a flight level. To enter a double data entry such as speed altitude, the separating slash must be used. If entering only the first part of a double entry, omit the slash. To enter only the second part of a double entry, a leading slash must be used, i.e. 0400.
40. Cara, eu tô achando que eu vou pular esse capítulo aqui porque...
All messages. The scratch pad displays various messages for flight crew information. These messages are prioritized by importance to the flight crew as either amber or white. Amber messages are navigation messages, data entry messages, EFIS repeat messages.
Amber message navigate, data entry, F. Amber message, duas categorias.
Amber messages are categorized into two types. Type 1 message that is a direct result of a flight crew action. Type 1 messages are displayed immediately in the scratch pad ahead of other messages.
Type 2, relação.
Type 2 messages inform the flight crew of a given situation or request a specific action. Stored in the last in first out message queue that holds maximum of 5 messages.
Type 2.
Type 2 messages are displayed in the scratch pad only if there are no Type 1 messages or other data and will remain until all the messages have been viewed and cleared with the CLR key.
Azul 4763, good morning.
White messages are advisory only.
Contact. QNH is 1018.
Como é que tá nosso progress? O Optimum tá no 330 ainda. Non-modifiable. Data box. Isso daqui. Tem o flight prepared, imported map. Agente constraints. Altitude. Flight plan. Second flight. Alternative flight plan. Offset. Usei. Qual aí? Flight. Vai de pronto. Essa eu não sabia. Latitude e longitude. Só isso mesmo. Toda vez que aparece up and down, dá pra fazer alteração. Per flight. Other page. I press intelligence.
The function keys on the multi-purpose control and display units allow the flight crew to call UPMCDU pages quickly. The following is a summary of the purpose of each key.
Roger.
Alls up the DIR to page and enables the flight crew to proceed directly from the present position to any waypoint entered manually or selected in the active flight plan.
Progress.
S up the progress page corresponding to the phase of the active flight plan that is in progress. This page displays navigation information and active data such as the optimum and maximum recommended. Cruise flight levels. It enables the flight crew to update the FMGS position and to obtain a bearing and distance to any location. LLS up the performance pages that display the optimum speed or Mach number for each phase. The flight crew can amend these pages. The first page to be displayed is the one corresponding to the current flight phase, except for pre-flight and done phases. The flight crew can then use the appropriate 6L or 6R LSK to call up pages corresponding to future flight phases. S up the progress page corresponding to the phase of the active flight plan that is in progress. This page displays navigation information and active data such as the optimum and maximum recommended. Cruise flight levels. It enables the flight crew to update the FMGS position and to obtain a bearing and distance to any location. LS up the flight plan initialization of page, which also gives the flight crew access to the V page. The flight crew uses the init pages to initialize flight management for the flight. The flight crew uses the init A page primarily to insert his flight plan and to align the inertial reference system. The flight crew uses the init B page to insert aircraft weight, fuel on board, CDAN various fuel requirements. The FMGS uses this data to compute predictions and fuel planning parameters. The flight crew has access to the init A page only in the pre-flight phase. Init B page, not accessible after engine start, is called up by pressing the NGXu key. LS up the data index page. This gives the flight crew access to various reference pages that show aircraft position, aircraft status, runways, waypoints, navades, routes, and data stored by the flight crew.
Essa daqui, ela não fica acessível sobre o engine start, a gente pelo menos já conhecia. Voadores ajudando a gente para sempre.
LS up the flight plan A and B pages, which contain a leg-by-leg description of the active primary flight plan. The flight crew can use the slewing keys to review the entire active flight plan. They can make all lateral and vertical revisions to the flight plan through these pages, using the left LS keys for lateral revision and the right keys for vertical revision. LS up the radio navigation page. This page displays the radio navades tuned automatically or manually through the FMGC. S up the fuel prediction page. Once the engines are started, this page displays the fuel predicted to be remaining at the destination and the alternate, as well as fuel management data. LS up the index page for the secondary flight plan. The flight crew can use this page to call up the secondary flight plan and all the functions related to it, copying, deleting, reviewing, activating, and the init and perf pages. LS up the ATC applications, not activate. LLS up the MCDU menu page, which displays the subsystems currently addressed via the MCDU. The key next to the name of a subsystem enables the flight crew to select that subsystem. When the MCDU menu enunciator lights up, the flight crew should press the MCDU menu key. The menu will have REQ displayed next to the name of the subsystem that requires attention.
Oi, Campinas, eu vou 9098, final INS, representando a 195. Vou 9098, lote, eu pouso autorizado,
FC.
The flight control unit, FCU, is located on the glare shield and is constituted of 3 control panels, 1 for the automatic flight controls and 2 for the electronic flight instrument system, EFIS. The FCU has 2 channels, each of which can independently command the central control panel. If one channel fails, the other channel can control all the functions.
Avisado, obviamente, com o MCD. Autoland Captain, faz show. Coisas aqui. Flight First Software. Cara, isso daqui passar direto. Verdade. Talvez em algum detalhe ou outro. Verdade. E a filosofia.
The flight crew can use 2 types of guidance to control the aircraft in autoflight. One type is managed by the Flight Management Guidance System, FMGS. The other uses target quantities which are manually entered by the flight crew. When the aircraft uses target quantities from the FMGS, managed guidance, the FCU windows display dashes and the white dots next to those windows light up. When the aircraft uses target quantities entered by the flight crew, selected guidance, the windows display the selected numbers and the white dots do not light up.
That's what.
The altitude window always displays an altitude selected by the flight crew, never dashes.
Vai ficar apagado, tem. F4 now. Heading track, out,
The knobs can be rotated, pushed in, and pulled out. In order to arm or engage managed guidance for a given mode, the flight crew pushes in the associated knob. If, for example, they push in the HDG knob, they engage or arms the nav mode. In order to engage a selected guidance mode, the flight crew turns the knob to set the desired value. Then pulls the knob out to engage the mode with a target value equal to the selected value.
Então a filosofia dá, depois o pull. Não dá o pull, ele then pull. Flight crew turns the knob to set the desired value. Tá. Fazer o contrário.
In managed guidance, lateral, vertical guidance, or managed speed, the corresponding window is dashed. Turning the knob without pulling it displays a value that is the sum of the current target and the turn action value. The display remains 45S on the HDG TRK and V windows and 10S on the SPD Mach window before the dashes reappear. This rule does not apply to the alt knob window. and managed guidance, lateral, vertical guidance or managed speed, the corresponding window is dashed. Turning the knob without pulling it displays a value that is the sum of the current target and the turn action value. The display remains 45S on the HDG TRK and B windows and 10S on the SPD Mach window before the dashes reappear. This rule does not apply to the alt knob window. Knob display range, between 100 and 399 knots for speed, between 0.10 and 0.99 for Mach number. One rotation of the knob corresponds to approximately 32 knots or M0.32. PD pushing this push button changes the SPD target to the corresponding Mach target and vice versa.
Adding knob. Zero. Okay. Berkeley. Cada giro corresponde ao orçamento. Eles têm.
Pushing this push button arms engages or disengages the lock mode. PD the flight crew uses this push button to select HDG associated with VS or TRK associated with FPA. Pushing it displays the flight path vector FPV on the primary flight display PFD or deletes it. On the PFD, changes the FD crossbar display with the aircraft attitude as its reference to the aircraft flight path director with the flight path vector as its reference and vice versa. Changes heading reference into track reference in the HDG.
Flight director crossbar with attached aircraft flight path director. That vector as a reference person. Heading track. Change vertical mean target F. É tranquilo também. Mudança é bem flight path vector, flight path vector. Ah, tá certo, é o FPD e FPV. E o flight director do flight path. Pilot engage, auto thrust.
PD the flight crew uses these push buttons to engage or disengage the autopilots. The buttons illuminate green when the autopilot is engaged. The flight crew uses this push button to arm, activate, or disconnect the autothrust, ATHR. This button illuminates green if the ATHR is armed or active. YYD the FCU altitude window always displays a target value selected by the flight crew. It never displays dashes. Display range, 100 to 49,000 feet. The outer knob has two positions. 100 and 1,000. The inner knob sets the altitude in the FCU window in increments of 100 or 1,000 feet, depending upon the position of the outer knob. PD this push button is used to engage the expedite mode.
Por que tem documento a mais para falar do expedite? Dá uma lida nesse depois, porque esse daqui eu não conheço tão bem. É passar a mudar o modo de execução.
PD this push button is used to display the FCU altitude target in meters on the ECAM, or the current altitude and FCU FM altitude target in meters on the PFD.
Speed or FTA cloud account. Dois cliques, assim. Assim.
The flight crew turns the knob slowly. Each click equals 100 feet per meter. The flight crew turns this knob to set the value of VS or FPA to be displayed in the VS or FPA window. They choose which, VS or FPA, is to be displayed by pushing the HDG VS, TRK FPA PB. One rotation of the knob corresponds to 32 clicks. One complete rotation sets FPA equals 3.2 degrees V, S equals 1,600 feet per minute.
32 cliques. Faz sentido.
When turned, if in VS or FPA mode, selects a vertical speed or flight path angle target. If not in VS or FPA mode, VS FPA window is dashed, preselects a vertical speed or flight with angle target. When the VS or FPA mode engages, flight crew action or mode reversion, this preselected value becomes the target. When turned, if in VS or FPA mode, selects a vertical speed or flight path angle target. If not in VS or FPA mode, VS FPA window is dashed, pre-selects a vertical speed or flight path angle target. When the VS or FPA mode engages, flight crew action or mode reversion, this pre-selected value becomes the target. If the VS or FPA mode is not engaged within 45s after pre-selection, the pre-selected value is cancelled and the dashes reappear. When the flight crew pushes the VS or FPA knob, the system commands an immediate level off VY engaging the VS or FPA mode with a target of 0. When the aircraft VS or FPA becomes 0, the FMA displays VS equals 0. If the flight crew then turns the knob to set a new value for VS or FPA, the aircraft changes flight path accordingly.
Então, no push, ele vai prover path certinho. Vertical speed 0. Alt crew. Até tá aqui, né? Push to level off. Então ele joga pra 0 esse daqui.
This push button arms, disarms, engages, or disengages the approach modes. Lock in GS modes if an ILS approach is selected in the active FPLN. Nav final modes if a non-precision approach is selected in the active FPLN. The FCU altitude window always displays a target value selected by the flight crew. It never displays dashes.
Cara, isso é muito foda, é muito mal escrito no manual. Essa informação já apareceu acho que umas 8 vezes já. E aí, Samuel, bom dia, mano. Beleza? Aproveitando um voozinho mais longo aqui para dar uma revisada no material da máquina. Pede para
PD this push button is used to display the FCU altitude target in meters on the ECAM, or the current altitude and FCU FM altitude target in meters on the PFD.
Yeah, mesmo. Vamos falar dos FSLABS. Não, cara. Joga mode. Range de blind person master connect push to auto thrust. Usei manualmente. Active, when armed, when wide when active. No auto thrust is
The FMGS generates the following information to the PFD. Armed and engaged modes on the FMA. FMGS guidance targets on the SPD, ALT, and HDG scales. Vertical deviation from descent profile on the ALT scal. Approach trajectory deviations. Flight crew awareness messages.
Outro documento vai chamar aqui para fora.
The FMGS generates the following information displayed on the EFIS navigation displays. Flight plan, active secondary, temporary, dashed. Aircraft position and lateral deviation from the flight plan. Pseudo waypoints along the flight plan. Raw data from tuned navaids and type of selected approach. Various display options, waypoints, navaids, NDVs. Wind information and various messages.
On the arc mode. You are recording. Estimate overtime overhead. A única coisa que eu acho um pouco estranho do Airbus é assistir. Estão sempre em horário Zulu, onde você vai passar. Isso é um pouco mais direto, tipo assim, quanto tempo falta ao invés de horário Zulu, assim, sabe? Porque você não sabe quanto tempo falta. Você tem que olhar no seu relógio, 18h30. Aí ele Vai ser passado às 18h35. Optional Data Displays magenta. Forma a gente selecionada no FI. Ah, nunca tive interesse não, pra falar a real, viu, Samuel? Eu lembro que, se eu não me engano, o Airbus era escrito alguma coisa em COBOL, se eu não me engano, porque é da época, né? Se você for fazer as contas aí, o software é de 1980 e alguma coisa, né? Então ele deve ser COBOL, se eu não me engano, alguma coisa desse tipo. Firetime. Novidades. Página de Flight Plan. Cross Track. Browse Mode eu acho legal porque ela mostra um trecho um pouco maior da parte traseira aqui da chegada. Às vezes eu vou fazer uma curva por IAF, por exemplo, você um pouco da parte dos procedimentos que está para trás, né? Diferente dessa daqui que ela mostra realmente onde está a aeronave e não mostra nada para trás. Ou quando você vai fazer alguma curva maior assim, geralmente eu uso essa tela. Mas ela é bem igual a outra também. Display Colors. Ads.
The characteristic speeds displayed on the PFD are computed by the Flight Augmentation Computer, FAC, according to the FMS weight data for PFD MCDU display consistency and accuracy purposes. VLS of normal landing configuration, CONF3 or full F, S and green dot speeds are also displayed on the MCDU takeoff and or APPR pages. The speeds displayed by the MCDU are computed by the FMS, based on the aircraft gross weight, which is computed according to the entered ZFW in the FA, or the predicted gross weight for approach or go around.
Falling speed.
VS, stalling speed. Not displayed. For a conventional aircraft, the reference stall speed, VS min, is based on a load factor that is less than 1 gram. This gives a stall speed that is lower than the stall speed of 1 gram. All operating speeds are expressed as functions of this speed. For example, VRF equals 1.3 VS min. Because aircraft of the A320 family have a low speed protection feature, alpha limit, that the flight crew cannot override. Airworthiness authorities have reconsidered the definition of stall speed for these aircraft. All the operating speeds must be referenced to a speed that can be demonstrated by flight tests. This speed is designated VS1G.
Interessante. Fala uma coisa nova sobre essa porcaria dessa máquina. Ele não mostra stalling speed. Realmente ele tem a situação de proteção, então ele não precisa para o piloto qual que é a velocidade de stall.
Airworthiness authorities have agreed that a factor of 0.94 represents the relationship between VS1G for aircraft of the A320 family and VS min for conventional aircraft types. As a result, authorities allow aircraft of the A320 family to use the following factors. V2 equals 1.2 times 0.94 VS1 gram equals 1.13 VS1G VREF equals 1.3 times 0.94 VS1 gram equals 1.23 VS1G Vs. VS1G these speeds are identical to those that the conventional 94% rule would have defined for these aircraft. The A318, A319, A320 and A321 have exactly the same maneuver margin that a conventional aircraft would have at its reference speeds. The FCOM uses VS for VS1G.
Aí a VLS, beleza, ela mostra.
Lowest selectable speed.
VLS.
Represented by the top of an amber strip along the airspeed scale on the PFD, computed by the FAC, based on FMS, and corresponds to 1.13 VS during takeoff, or following a touch and go, becomes 1.23 VS. After retraction of one step of flaps, becomes 1.28 VS when in clean configuration.
Yes. The top of the amber strip along the aircraft então é essa daqui, né? No caso, essa é a green dot, que é a clean, e essa é a VLS. Ela é variável de acordo com a força G também, VLS. Selectable. Abaixo daquilo ele já entra no Alpha no Alpha Protection e vai deixar entrar. Note.
If in CONF0 VLS were 1.23 VS instead of 1.28 VS, the Alpha Protection strip would hit the VLS strip on the PFD.
Sim.
Above 20,000 feet, VLS is corrected for Mach effect to maintain a buffet margin of 0.2 grams. In addition, VLS increases when the speed brakes are extended. In landing configurations, CONF3 in full, VLS is always equal to or greater than VMCL.
VLS increases quando o speed brake está estendido. Também faz sentido. Afinal de contas, VLS vai subir. Fecha. FLABS vai subir para acima da green dot, porque obviamente você perde, né, sustentação quando você está usando o speed brake. Então a VLS sobe de acordo com o speed. VLS F-speed.
Minimum speed at which the flaps may be retracted at takeoff. In approach, used as a target speed when the aircraft is in CONF2 or CONF3, represented by F on the PFD speed scale, equal to 1.26 VS of CONF1 plus F, and limited to a minimum of 1.1 VMCA and VMCL plus 15 knots.
S é a dos slats no recolhimento.
Minimum speed at which the slats may be retracted at takeoff. In approach, used as a target speed when the aircraft is in CONF1, represented by S on the PFD airspeed scale, equal to 1.23 VS of clean configuration, and limited to a minimum of VMCL plus 20 knots.
A dúvida é se eu preciso decorar isso daqui. 1.23, 1.20, 1.20. Configuration, 1.23 com slats, 1.23 com slats. Esse com papel 1.20 slats. É green dot.
Green dot speed, engine out operating speed in clean configuration. Best lift to drag ratio speed also corresponds to the final takeoff speed, represented by a green dot on the PFD scale, below 15,000. Ford equal to 1.5 times weight, metric tons, plus 1.1.
Então, engine out operation, configuration, porque é de menor drag. Best lift, drag to speed. Also corresponds to the final takeoff speed. Final takeoff.
Assault 4763 contact, receive center on 125.45, good 8.
Por enquanto não, Samuel. Poucas coisas. A coisa que mata no Fenix mesmo, os sistemas ele está bem representado. O problema é a dinâmica de voo mesmo. A transição do voo para o solo no Fenix ainda é ridícula, sabe? Parece que você está andando com uma carriola, um carrinho de mão na pista ao invés de ser um avião. Represent green dot. So 50,000 for 1.5 weight metric ton.
Key characteristic speeds displayed on the PFD are computed by the flight augmentation computer, FAC. According to the FMS weight data, for PFD MCDU display consistency and accuracy purposes, BLS, of normal landing configuration, CONF3 or full F. S and green dot speeds are also displayed on the MCDU takeoff and or APPR pages.
Ó, uma diferença aqui entre velocidades de sol são as mesmas, porém a green dot ela tem uma diferença aqui, ó, que ela representa somente detalhes abaixo de 20 mil pés, enquanto no 20 é a 15 mil pés.
Maximum design maneuvering speed. This corresponds to the maximum structural speed permitted for full control deflection if alternate or direct law is active. Minimum speed on the ground during takeoff, at which the aircraft can be controlled by only using the primary flight controls. After a sudden failure of the critical engine, the other engine remaining at takeoff thrust. Minimum control speed in flight at which the aircraft can be controlled with a maximum bank of 5 degrees. If one engine fails, the other engine remaining at takeoff thrust. Takeoff flap setting, gear retracted. VMCL, minimum control speed in flight at which the aircraft can be controlled with a maximum bank of 5 degrees. If one engine fails, the other engine remaining at takeoff thrust. Approach flap setting.
Up. Ended.
VFE, maximum speed for each flap configuration. VLE, maximum speed with landing gear extended. VLO, maximum speed for landing gear operation. VMO, maximum speed. VFE next, maximum speed for the next, further extended, flap lever position.
Isso aqui é tranquilo. Todas as velocidades aqui elas estão indicadas no próprio painel, você não precisa se preocupar em decorar também. Então, land extension, 180 e máximo para... LE, landing gear extension.
VLE, maximum speed with landing gear extended.
VLO, máximo for landing gear operation.
VLO, maximum speed for landing gear operation.
For extension é 280. Extension 280. Retraction 220. Aí as velocidades de flap e a velocidade máxima de flap, que é o VFE Next, representado por esse. Não vai estar visível aqui, mas é aquela tracejado do amarelo que qualquer máxima você pode usar naquele momento. Maximum for next, further extend, flap position.
ALL, V-alpha prod, V-alpha max, and VSW are computed by the FAC based on aerodynamic data. They are only used for display on the PFD and not for flight control protection. The activation of the protections is computed by the ELAC. Delay of attack protection speed corresponds to the angle of attack at which the angle of attack protection becomes active. Represented by the top of a black and amber strip along the PFD speed scale in normal law.
The top black and amber strip of PFD. The top of black and amber along the PFD.
Maximum angle of attack speed corresponds to the maximum angle of attack that may be reached in pitch normal law. Represented by the top of a red strip along the PFD speed scale in normal law. Stall warning speed, represented by a red and black strip along the speed scale when the flight control normal law is inoperative. Represented by the bottom of a red and black strip along the speed scale, determined by the FAC according to the aircraft configuration, is equal to VMO, or speed corresponding to MMO, VLE or VFE.
Up in black works. Now, soft protection, ela está abaixo. É, o do Alpha Protection é essa daqui, né? Number black. E a outra do FTX. Red strip. Top, red and black strip. Não, o Alpha Max é quando é da velocidade máxima mesmo. É tipo, ela fica inteira vermelha. Velocidade máxima aí sim, de acordo com MO e VLFE, que é
and corresponding to MMO, VLE or VFE.
Red and black strip, que é essa daqui, né? Red and black strip.
The highest speed during takeoff, at which the flight crew has a choice between continuing the takeoff or stopping the aircraft, represented by 1 on the airspeed scale, or the V1 value when it is off the airspeed scale, inserted manually through the MCDU by the flight crew, display on the MCDU takeoff page. The speed at which the pilot rotates in order to reach V2 at an altitude of 35 feet at the latest after an engine failure, inserted manually through the MCDU by the flight crew, displayed on the MCDU takeoff page. Takeoff safety speed that the aircraft attains at the latest at an altitude of 35 ft with one engine failed, and maintains during the second segment of the takeoff, represented by the speed select symbol on the speed scale, minimum value equal to 1.13 bs for the corresponding configuration, inserted manually through the MCDU by the flight crew, displayed on the MCDU takeoff page.
Heavy ref.
Farrant speed used for normal final approach, equal to 1.23 times bs of conference full, displayed on the MCDU APPR page, if landing is planned in conference full, VLSCONF full. Final approach speed, displayed on MCDU APPR page, calculated by the FMGCs, represents VAPP equals VLS plus wind correction. The wind correction is limited to a minimum of 5 knots and a maximum of 15 knots. The flight crew may modify VAPP through the MCDU during autoland or when ATHR is on or in case of ice accretion or gusty crosswind greater than 20 knots. VAPP must not be lower than VLS plus 5 knots.
Yeah, ground speed. Aqui ele coloca. No 20, LS mais 10. For landing configuration, 3 DLS mais 10. Out of flight management. Bom que o documento só tem 700 páginas. Tranquilo. Tá.
Essential navigation functions are computation of position, evaluation of position accuracy, radio navigation, tuning alignment of inertial reference system. Each FMGC computes its own aircraft position, called the FM position, from a mixed IRS position and a computed radio position, or a GPS position. The FMGS selects the most accurate position. Considering the estimated accuracy and integrity of each positioning equipment, GPS inertial is the basic navigation mode, provided GPS data is valid and successfully tested. Otherwise, navades plus inertial or inertial only are used. Refer to VSC22_202010 navigation modes.
É isso mesmo. Uma coisa que eu sei que o Airbus faz é isso daqui, né? VR2 estão sempre todos conectados automático. E agora eles não estão nem pegando nenhum sinal aqui, porque não deve ter nenhum próximo. O VOR1 2 também ajuda a fazer a computação do inercial está capturando aqui em cima. Faz um mix entre eles e faz uma triangulação para funcionamento. Bem interessante. Olha, for IRS, a computer radio position, or yes, é mais precisão.
Each FMGC receives a position from each of the 3 IRSs and computes a mean weighted average called the mixed IRS position.
Cara, dentro dos 30 RS ele ainda faz um mix ainda entre posições mais acuradas. Não sabia que tinha tanta coisa.
F1 of the IRSs drifts abnormally. The mixed IRS position uses an algorithm that decreases the influence of the drifting IRS within the mixed IRS position.
Ele usa um algoritmo, deixa esse cara que é animal. Vai.
F1 of the IRSs fails. Each FMGC uses only one IRS on side IRS or IRS3. Each IRS position and inertial speed are continuously tested. If the test fails, the corresponding IRS is rejected. When the check IRS 1, 2, or 3 FM position message appears on the MCDU.
Avisa com FM position. S position.
Each IRS computes a mixed IRS GPS position called the GPIRS position. For this, each IRS can independently select their GPS source in order to maximize the availability of GPS data. Of the 3 GPIRS positions that each FMGC receives, the FMS selects one GPIRS position based on a figure of merit and priority. The FMS uses the following hierarchy to perform the selection: on-side GPIRS position, GPIRS 3 opposite GPIRS position. If the GPIRS data does not comply with an integrity criterion that is based on a horizontal integrity limit, HIL, and on the automatic detection of failed satellites, the FMS rejects the GPS mode and is the radio position update. The flight crew can deselect the GPS position on the selected NAVA IDS page, if necessary. Information about the GPS position is displayed on the GPS monitor page. In nominal case, ADIRU1 selects GPS1 and ADIRU2 selects GPS2. The GPS selection by ADIRU3 depends on the position of the HDG selector switch. If one of the GPS sources is rejected by the ADIRUs, all ADIRUs will select the same GPS source. As a result, the data of the GPS that is not selected is dashed on the GPS monitor page. The GPS PRIMARY lost message may not be displayed. YSN each IRS computes a mixed IRS GPS position called the GPIRS position. For this, each IRS can independently select their GPS source in order to maximize the availability of GPS data. Of the 3 GPIRS positions that each FMGC receives, the FMS selects one GPIRS position based on a figure of merit and priority. YSN each IRS computes a mixed IRS GPS position called the GPIRS position. For this, each IRS can independently select their GPS source in order to maximize the availability of GPS data. Of the 3 GPIRS positions that each FMGC receives, the FMS selects one GPIRS position based on a figure of merit and priority. In nominal case, ADIRU1 selects GPS1 and ADIRU2 selects GPS2. The GPS selection by ADIRU3 depends on the position of the HDG selector switch. If one of the GPS sources is rejected by the ADIRUs, all ADIRUs will select the same GPS source. As a result, the data of the GPS that is not selected is dashed on the GPS monitor page. The GPS PRIMARY lost message may not be displayed.
Pode ser que não aconteça realmente.
ACH FMGC uses on-side navades to compute its own radio position. These navades are displayed on the selected NAVA IDS page. The available navades are It uses log to update the lateral position using log beam during ILS approach. Log is also used for quick update when in GPS IRS mode, if one or more navades fail. Each FMGC can use offside navades to compute the VOR DME or the DME radio position. The radio navade selection is displayed on the data selected NAVA IDS page.
Ordem the position é o cross-check de 2 DMS. Start MA selection automatic for display. Selection.
At flight initialization, each FMGC displays an FM position that is a mixed IRS GPS position, GPIRS. At takeoff, when the FM position is updated to the runway threshold position is stored in the database, possibly corrected by the takeoff shift entered on perf to page. In flight, the FM position approaches the radio position or the GPS position at a rate depending upon the aircraft altitude. The FM position update at takeoff is inhibited when GPS primary is active. 22 bias each FMGC computes a vector from its mixed IRS position to the radio position or GPIRS position. This vector is called the bias. Each FMGC updates its bias continuously as long as a radio position or a GPIRS position is available. If an FMGC loses its radio GPIRS position, it memorizes the bias and uses it to compute the FM position, which equals the mixed IRS position plus the bias. Until the radio or the GPIRS position is restored, the bias does not change. The flight crew can update the FM position manually. This also updates the bias. YYL the flight crew may check the position computation using the GPS monitor or POSITIONMONITOR page.
Então a gente pode monitorar using GPS monitor or position monitor page. Aqui em data. Position monitor. FMZ 1. IRS. Nave cell, aí a gente consegue ver ele está com esse daqui que é o mais próximo. Ambos estão em alto em radio nav, tenemos escravizado. Entendi. Nosso progress aqui é 340 mais. 340 no nível. Tráfego ali na frente. Todo um traçado aqui. Flight crew, check. Decimal. Best monitor e
All a takeoff update requires that the takeoff runway be part of the flight plan. This provides the most accurate position update if the takeoff run starts at an intersection. Enter a takeoff shift on the perf page to refine the takeoff update. An accurate takeoff update ensures a precise aircraft position during departure.
Takeoff sheet, perf page. Takeoff shifting, perf page. Mas é na de takeoff, eu não vou conseguir ver agora. Seria go around. Se você fizer para sair do approach phase, não quer ver esse detalhe. Off update, off sheet, poder fazer o cálculo com off finish threshold, aqui em metros, né? Navigation, evaluation of position.
The FMGS continuously computes an estimated position uncertainty, EPU. It is an estimate of how much the FM position diverged, and is a function of the navigation mode that the system uses.
rate of merit. Aquele algoritmo lá de precisão que ele provavelmente deve fechar. E acima Games Reject Position 0 ponto. Caralho, muito preciso. Move Steward. Então esse daqui que é o algoritmo que Aerosoft Náutica Mode por vai fazendo um... Então ele vai mudando essa precisão.
FTER and IRS alignment or at takeoff, the EPU is set to 0.2N.
Engraçado, né? Ele fala sobre a IP. Ah, então é daí que vem a mensagem, então, accuracy.
The FMS displays the EPU to the flight crew and compares it with the required navigation performance, RNP. If the EPU does not exceed the RNP, accuracy is high. If the EPU exceeds the RNP, accuracy is low.
Ele aparece accuracy high lá quando ele atinge parâmetros RNP. Caso contrário, ele aparece low.
The RNP is displayed in the required field of the PROG page. The display RNP is in a decreasing order of priority. The value that the flight crew entered the navigation database procedure value the system's default value.
Então dentro da página de prog, accuracy high, porque ele está dentro dos parâmetros required é 2.0 e ele está com 0.0 de accuracy. Dá, né, cara? É muito preciso. Lógico, isso é um simulador, né?
When a flight crew enters an RNP that is higher than the published value, one of the following messages is displayed. Procedure RNP is XX, XX, or area RNP is XX, XX. When this occurs, the flight crew should verify the RNP value that was manually entered in the required field of the PROG page, and clear or modify it if necessary. The area RNP is XX, XX message is also displayed at the change of flight area if the new RNP default value is smaller than the displayed RNP manually entered.
Outra coisa que eu não sabia. Teoricamente, o required aqui, ó, eu posso alterar. Eu sabia que dava para fazer essa alteração. Se eu der um clear, ele volta para o parâmetro normal. Sabia. Pode ser que o RNP required ali seja menor, dá pra gente colocar manualmente. 0, essa é pro 0.5, caso 0.5.
When one FMGC changes the nav accuracy from low to high, or high to low, the MCDU and THEND display the nav ACCURUPGRAD or DOWNGRAD message.
Legal. 1.3 is required.
HEN and IRS GPS mode. The GPS primary status combines two different criteria. The accuracy criterion previously described, high, low accuracy, and integrity criterion. This is the capability to detect a failure and provide appropriate warning of it. This criterion indicates the confidence that the flight crew can have in the FMS position. If the GPS primary status complies with both criteria, GPS primary is displayed on the MCDU PROG page. 5R field and scratchpad and temporarily on the ND. If the GPS primary status no longer complies with one of these criteria, navigation downgraded or integrity lost. The GPS primary status is lost in the MCDU and the ND display the GPS PRIMARY lost message. It is possible to clear the scratchpad message on the MCDU but not on the ND.
GPS primary realmente fala assim, dos sistemas que eu tenho aqui dentro, esse tal mais tem maior curiosidade, então ele aparece GPS primary para falar, ó, estou usando o GPS como primário porque está com caution.
High or low on the PROG page indicates the FM position accuracy based on estimated uncertainty. When GPS primary mode is lost, the flight crew must periodically check this position accuracy. In GPS primary mode, the position accuracy is always at high. GPS is manually deselected. The GPS is deselected. Message is displayed on the MCDU, ADNM before the TD or at approach phase transition.
This is also top of the
Longitude threshold that depends on the latitude, 0.5 for latitudes below 55 degrees, 0.9 for latitudes that are above 55 degrees and below 70 degrees. A latitude threshold of 0.5, regardless of the latitude.
É verdade, né, Samuel? Tinha... Como é que chamava? Aquelas... chamava, acho que... Eyebrows, eles chamavam, se eu não me engano. Window Browse ou Eyebrows, uma coisa... Uma janelinha no canto, né? Superior ali, para poder facilitar a visualização do... Facilitava também as curvas bases, se eu não me engano. Fazia curva para a esquerda, assim, conseguia ver a pista lá naquela janelinha.
Then, the lower ECAM displays the NAV FM GPS pause disagree amber caution. The master caution light comes on and a single chime sounds. This amber caution is inhibited during the takeoff phase. Above 70 degrees of latitude, a longitude difference does not trigger the alarm.
Radio navigation tuning.
Radio navades are tuned for two different purposes. Display and computation. It is possible to perform tuning for display in three different ways. Automatic tuning via FMGC software, manual tuning via the MCDU RAD nav page, manual tuning via the radio management panel RMP. If both FMGCs or both MCDUs fail, the FMGS automatically tunes the radio navades for computation of the radio position. Note, the manual selection of a VOR or VOR DME may prevent the FMGS from automatically tuning a VOR DME to compute position. In this case, the related MCDU displays TUNEBBBFFF, FFBBB equals ident, FFF, FF equals frequency.
FMG VOR ELS.
And dual mode and independent mode. Each FMGC simultaneously tunes the navades on its own side. 1 VOR, 1 DME, 1 ILS, 1 GLS, 1 MLS, and 1 ADF. In these modes, the flight crew can also manually tune the VOR and associated DME, ILS, GLS, MLS, and ADF. In single mode, the valid FMGC tunes navades on both sides. The flight crew can also use the RAD nav page to manually tune both VORs, both ADFs, and the ILS, GLS, MLS. Manual tuning has priority over automatic tuning. If one receiver fails, both FMGCs use the operative radio receiver to compute the position of the aircraft.
Ele faz triangulação, perde VOR. Dúvida agora.
All each FMGC may tune only one VOR, manually or automatically. Automatic tuning complies with the following priorities for tuning the VOR. 1. The specified navade for the approach. 2. The navade that the flight crew should use to compute the current radio position. 3. For display purposes, a navade specified for the active flight leg that took waypoint to WPT, if it is a navade from waypoint from WPT. If it is a navade, a waypoint farther along the flight path. If it is a navade, the navade closest to the current position of the aircraft. The scratch pad displays specific VORD on a veil. If the VOR or the VOR DME that the flight crew requires for tuning is deselected. 3. For display purposes, a navade specified for the active flight leg that took waypoint to WPT, if it is an navade. The from waypoint from WPT, if it is an navade. A waypoint farther along the flight path, if it is an navade. The navade closest to the current position of the aircraft. Each FMGC automatically uses its 5 DME frequencies as follows. 1 DME frequency for display. It is possible to tune it manually or automatically. 2 DME frequencies in DME mode for calculating the radio position of the aircraft. The FMGC automatically tunes these as a function of their best accuracy. The flight crew does not receive any indication that this process is happening. 1 DME frequency automatically tuned for radio position. This occurs in the VOR DME mode when the DME is not available and the flight crew complies with the conditions for a VOR DME update. In this case, the VOR DME that the flight crew uses for display is identical to the VOR DME navade that the flight crew uses for computation of the radio position. 1 DME frequency is connected to the ILS DME. The FMGC automatically tunes 1 ADF. When the flight plan specifies a non-directional beacon, NDB approach and a fix in the approach is the tip waypoint, the scratch pad displays specific NDB on a veil. If the NDB that the flight crew requires for auto-tuning is deselected. Each FMGC automatically tunes 1 ILS frequency in the pre-flight or takeoff phase when the takeoff runway has an associated ILS. In the climb, cruise, descent, approach, or go-around phase. When the type of approach in the flight plan is ILS. The scratch pad displays RWY ILS mismatch when the flight crew manually tunes the ILS and the entered frequency does not agree with the ILS or the lock ident freq that the flight crew requests for. Automatic tuning. The FMGS logic does not enable the flight crew to modify the course of an ILS when its frequency is identical to the ILS selected in the FPLN. Each FMGC auto-tunes 1 GLS channel in the climb, cruise, descent, approach, or go-around phase when the type of approach in the flight plan is 22. The scratch pad displays RWY LS mismatch when the flight crew has manually tuned the GL SAN. The entered channel does not match the GLS ident chan requested for auto-tuning. The FMGS logic does not allow the flight crew to modify the course of a GLS when its channel is identical to the GLS selected in the FPLN. It does not agree with the ILS or the lock ident.
Select rate.
Page. This page lists the navaids tuned by the on-site FMGC. No navaids can be modified on this page. The flight crew may deselect navaids and or GPS or SBAS for the whole flight. YYLD MCDU displays the navaids tuned by the FMGC on 2 pages. Radio nav page selected NAVA IDS page. Preferably use the identifier.
Radio.
22DISREGARD, the ident that appears in small font on the MCDU when a frequency is entered in the VOR field. The FMGC automatically associates to the tuned frequency the closest navade identifier with the same frequency and displays it on the RAD NAV page. This identifier may not correspond to the tuned navade if the closest navade found in the database is of a different type, e.g. VOR instead of VOR DME. The flight crew will obtain a partial tuning, e.g. VOR indication instead of VOR DME indication. Enter the course. If the flight crew intends to manually tune an ILS that is not in the navigation database or tone manually tune an ILS by its frequency, ident not entered. And if they do not enter the course, the flight crew will not be able to arm approach modes.
Só no ARM, se não tiver no database, é setado então course.
YSNINSCRT, the identifier on the radio nav page. Preferably use the identifier.
No alinhamento.
YYLD FMGS uses the reference point coordinates of the departure airport to align the IRS. It calls these up from the database automatically after the flight crew has entered a company route you're in. Origin destination city pair and press the align IRS key on the MCDU. The flight crew can adjust these coordinates manually to the gate position. A normal alignment takes 10 minutes, a fast alignment 30s. Fast alignment is used to refine a position when time is limited. If the IRS in align memo flashes on the EWD during the alignment process, it indicates one of the following. It has detected excessive motion. It automatically restarts the alignment. It has detected a disagreement between the position the MCDU has sent to the IRS and the last memorized IRS position. The flight crew must enter new coordinates in the MCDU and realign the IRS. It has detected a disagreement between the latitude the MCDU has sent to the IRS and THE latitude the IRS has computed during the alignment. The IRS has not received a position from the MCDU. The flight crew accesses the page dedicated to IRS alignment by pressing the 3R key. The FMGS uses the reference point coordinates of the departure airport to align the IRS. The flight crew can manually adjust these coordinates to the gate position. A normal alignment takes 10 minutes, a fast alignment takes 30s. Fast alignment is used to refine a position when time is limited.
Flight planning.
The flight crew uses the MCDU to insert flight plans into the FMGS, a lateral flight plan that defines the intended horizontal flight path, a vertical flight plan that defines the intended speed and altitude profile for the aircraft to follow while flying the lateral flight plan. The flight planning function is available for both the primary and secondary flight plans. The FMGS can contain two different flight plans, the active flight plan, which is the basis for lateral and vertical guidance, MCDU and ND display, radio navigation auto-tuning, performance predictions, fuel planning. Secondary flight plan, which the flight crew may use when an alternate takeoff runway is probable, to plan a diversion, to prepare the next flight, to compare predictions or evaluations. Each flight plan is composed of the same elements, the primary flight plan from origin to destination and missed approach the alternate flight plan from destination to alternate destination. The flight crew enters the flight plan in either of two ways, automatically by selecting a company route. Such a selection will call all the elements of the route out of the database. Manually by selecting an origin, desk pair, and then selecting all successive waypoints, procedures, and vertical constraints on the MCDU. The flight crew may then modify the flight plan on the ground or in flight by making lateral and vertical revisions.
Lateral and vertical revision. sem querer. E tinha mão no controle.
YYLTO, insert the lateral flight plan. The flight crew can use either a company route number or an ICAO four-letter city pair. The lateral flight plan includes the following elements: departure, takeoff, runway, SID, en route transition. En route waypoints and airways. Arrival, en route transition, stars, vias, landing runway with selected approach, missed approach. Alternate flight plan. These elements are defined by waypoints and legs between the waypoints.
Departure. Arrival.
22. The FMGC automatically strings the legs in sequence. The flight plan has a discontinuity if any two waypoints do not have a leg defined between them. The computer assumes that the aircraft will fly a direct leg between the two waypoints that define the discontinuity. Note, when the aircraft overflies a flight plan discontinuity, the nav mode automatically reverts to HDG TRK mode. A320.
Very good.
22 in HDG TRK mode. A flight plan waypoint is sequenced if the following conditions are met. The waypoint is behind the aircraft and the aircraft is less than 7 nm from it, the angle between the current aircraft track and the track of the leg is less than 90 degrees. If the aircraft is flying a discontinuity towards a waypoint, this waypoint is sequenced when the aircraft is less than 5 nm from it. The same conditions apply in nav mode, except that no distance to the waypoint is taken into account. If the flight crew revises the lateral flight plan with the DIR to intercept function, the waypoints of the revised flight plan are sequenced when the aircraft is in the above-mentioned conditions. The FMGS automatically strings additional types of legs when departure or arrival procedures, SID star, trans are defined. Those strings correspond to specific patterns that are heading or track referenced and are defined in the database, such as DME arc leg holding pattern to a fix, or reverse turn course to fix leg A320.
Legs, departure arrives. Correspond to specific patterns that are heading or track. For instance, finding database, holding pattern, course to video, heading leg.
The flight crew cannot create these types of legs. They are part of the stored departure arrival procedures they have selected. The flight crew can only create direct legs between manually defined geographic points, navades, airports, waypoints. The departure and arrival procedures are defined in the database to minimize the amount of memory required. They are divided as follows: departure equals SID plus en route transition, arrival equals approach via plus star plus en route transition. The SID is the central common part of the departure procedure, as the stars of the arrival procedure. En route transitions, trans, are the various possible trajectories defined between the last SID point and the first en route waypoints, and between the last en route waypoint and the first fix of the star. APPR vias are the possible trajectories defined between the last star point and the first point of the approach. A manual leg stays on a constant TRK or HDG and has no termination point. The flight crew cannot insert it into a flight plan manually. It is part of a given procedure such as a SID or a star. When the aircraft is flying a manual leg, the nav mode remains engaged in predictions. Assume that the aircraft will fly a direct leg from its present position to the next waypoint, DIR2. When the aircraft is cleared to fly to the next waypoint of the flight plan, the flight crew performs a DIR2. Note 1. In nav mode, a manual leg is sequenced only by performing a DIR to point 2. The use of the descent mode, DE, on a manual leg is not recommended.
Lógico. Não tem o predict da lateral que você vai fazer a curva. Vertical speed. Ele até desarmar.
YYL, there are 3 ways of defining the route. 1. A company route that is in the database and is known by the flight crew. The flight crew enters the name of the company RTE into the 1L field of the init page. This action enters all the elements of the flight plan. The database usually includes an alternate route associated with the destination. A company route that is in the database, but the flight crew does not know it is there. The flight crew enters a city pair in the 1R field. The route selection page automatically appears and enables the flight crew to review all stored routes between the two cities before selecting one of them.
The flight crew enters city pairs in 1R. Flight crew page automatically appears, enables flight crew to review all stored routes. É verdade, tem até as 6 aqui. Vai iniciar com DLN, vai para J32 até aqui. Então a ideia completa a linha. saber qual que é a ordem, se é daqui para cá ou daqui para cá que faz a leitura. Já.
There is no company route between the two cities. The flight crew enters the city pair in the 1R field. The route selection page appears and displays none. The flight crew has to manually construct the entire flight plan. There are 3 ways of defining the route. 1. A company route that is in the database and is known by the flight crew. The flight crew enters the name of the company RTE into the 1L field of the init page. This action enters all the elements of the flight plan. The database usually includes an alternate route associated with the destinatio. In terms of flight plan capacity, the FMS takes into account 3 flight plans: the active flight plan, the secondary flight plan, the temporary flight plan. Each flight plan can contain up to 200 legs. If a flight plan contains 200 legs, and if the flight crew attempts to perform a lateral revision that increases the number of legs of this flight plan, the FMS rejects the revision and the MCDU displays the FPLN full message.
Sabia que era tão
22 for the active and secondary flight plans. The primary parts must contain less than 165 legs, and the alternate parts must contain less than 35 legs. YSNI in terms of flight plan capacity. The FMS takes into account 5 elements: the primary part of the active flight plan, the alternate part of the active flight plan, the primary part of the secondary flight plan, the alternate part of the secondary flight plan, the temporary flight plan. Each element can contain up to 200 legs. If an element contains 200 legs, and if the flight crew attempts to perform a lateral revision that increases the number of legs of this element, the FMS rejects the revision and the MCDU displays the FPLN full message. YYL the flight crew can revise the lateral flight plan following 2 types of revisions. 1. Lateral revisions that have an immediate effect on the active flight plan. The flight crew inserts a new waypoint directly on the FPLN page, deletes or changes a waypoint from it. When the flight crew enters a new waypoint, which does not exist in the flight plan, the following waypoint moves down the flight plan. With a discontinuity shown after the new waypoint, the flight crew adds a direct leg, DIR, from his present position to a selected waypoint. The flight crew can change the to waypoint of the active leg. The DIR function gives access to DIR to a beam or DIR to intercept. The active leg then goes from the present position, TP, to the waypoint selected or inserted as a new to waypoint.
Cara, não sabia que dava pra fazer direct shoot de forma. E aqui, ó, tá voando. Qual o próximo? Flight plan. Panefro. Certo. Isso aqui. Sabia que dava pra fazer. Ah não, essa daqui é na página de direct viajando. Cara, isso eu acho muito ruim no manual do Airbus. Por que não tá, por exemplo, por que essas imagens aqui colocaram coloridas? Por exemplo, nessa página de direct, todas as informações elas estão em azul, ao invés de verde. Já teria ganhado o que estava na página do direct.
Lateral revisions that lead to a temporary flight plan, TMPY, before they take effect. The flight crew creates a temporary flight plan, then inserts it as a revision to the active flight plan. The flight crew does this when selecting, deleting, or modifying several waypoints of an airway or procedure at once. SID, STAR, hold, takeoff or landing RWY. This modification is Madion specific, lat rev pages from the flight plan page. Possible revisions are: insert or modify the departure procedure, insert or modify the arrival procedure, insert a waypoint, change the destination, insert an airway, insert an offset, insert a holding pattern, select or enable an alternate flight plan fix informatio.
Offsets também são.
The purpose of the temporary flight plan is to allow the flight crew to check a revision on the MCDU and on the ND before inserting the changes into the active flight plan. It is a copy of the active flight plan that has been changed according to the flight crew revision. While it is displayed, the aircraft will continue to follow the original active flight plan. No predictions are computed or displayed on the pages of the temporary flight plan. A temporary flight plan is displayed for a check-in or new modification. Inserting the temporary revision will modify the active flight plan. YSN the flight crew can revise the lateral flight plan in 3 ways. All lateral revisions of the FPLN leave the FMS to create a temporary flight plan, TMPY, before they take effect. The flight crew inserts a new waypoint directly on the FPLN page, deletes, or changes a waypoint from it. FTER inserting a waypoint, AFPLN discontinuity is inserted between the inserted waypoint and THE following one. After deleting a waypoint, AFPLN discontinuity is inserted between the preceding waypoint and THE following one. The flight crew should clear the discontinuity as appropriate. Check the temporary FPLN and insert it in the active FPLN. The flight crew adds a direct leg, DIR2. The flight crew can perform a DIR to a waypoint in the FPLN. Different options may be used to perform a DIR to direct to, DIR to with the beam points, radial in, radial out. A single revision DIR to temporary FPLN specific to the DIR to action is automatically created when the waypoint has been selected. After inserting the DIR to the active leg goes from present position, T key, to the selected waypoint.
Porra, essa é da hora, eu não conhecia. Por exemplo, a gente está na radial 05. Pensar aqui, ó, Nefro é o próximo waypoint. Nefro, radial está na 200. Quero que ele ingresse na radial 250, por exemplo. Se temporário aqui, como é que ficaria? Lá ele vai ingressar na 200. Ele vai buscar isso no navigation agora. Ele reverteu para HeadTrack, faz sentido. Então eu posso colocar heading. Ele está armado neve, só que não mostrou aqui, tá vendo? Não mostrou muito legal isso aqui. Ah não, tá aqui, ó, o ponto de interceptação de Nefro. É legal, até para nós fazer uns desvios. Já coloca o ponto de interceptação de acordo, ó, 43 milhas de direita. Já falo o quanto eu tô distante para fazer a interceptação e depois ingressar para Nefro de novo. Cara, que da hora. Isso é legal do DirectTo. No Nav Intercept. Realmente umas funções bem avançadas que ele simula também, que eu não sabia. Então eu posso usar radial in, radial out, DirectTo. E aí também os varinhos. Legal, muito legal. Hot crew, overview. Okay.
The lateral revision function allows the flight crew to create or modify the following parts of the flight plan.
Airways waypoint. Right,
Temporary data is displayed in yellow. Temporary data is displayed in yellow, ND and MCDU. Once inserted, it becomes active and IS displayed in green.
13 and airway V.
12 general in the active flight plan. The pilot can insert up to 5 successive airway segments, going from a revised waypoint or ending at a given waypoint of the flight plan.
Fica em airways, fica tranquilo. Revise press 5 air. Hot crew. Third succession.
The system automatically determines the first downpath intersection point between the two airways. If the airways have a common waypoint, the system selects it as the ending point of the first via. If they have no common waypoint but have a single intersection, the system creates this intersection as an FM computed point and displays X followed by the airway ident, HeadTracker 25. If they have no common waypoint or intersection, the system displays no INTERSECTIONFOUND in the scratchpad. Once the flight crew has entered the required airways up to 5, the flight crew must enter the ending point of the last selected airways.
Uma milha sem fazer a interceptação. Caramba, já passamos da metade do voo já. Passa muito rápido. Toca muito.
If two waypoints with the same ident belong to the same airway, the DUPLICAT and AMES page will not be called up, and the system selects the first one in the database.
Airway segment.
The revised waypoint, or the ending waypoint, does not belong to the entered airway. The system displays a WYWPT mismatch in the scratch pad. If two waypoints with the same ident belong to the same airway, the DUPLICAT and AMES page will not be called up and the system selects the first one in the database. Insertion. The flight crew either inserts the flight plan directly from the airways page or from the TMPYFPLN page. In both cases, press 6R to insert the temporary flight plan. Clear flight plan discontinuity as needed. General waypoints can be inserted in two ways, directly into the flight plan. All modifications go directly into the active flight plan. No temporary flight plan is created, by means of a lateral revision at the next waypoint, a process that creates a temporary flight plan. The second method enables the temporary flight plan to be checked before it is inserted. The pilot can identify a waypoint by its identifier if it is in the navigation database. A latitude, longitude, LL, a place, bearing, distance, PBD. The waypoint is defined by its bearing and distance from a place. A place bearing, PBX. The waypoint is defined by the intersection of two radials from two places. A place distance, PD. The waypoint is defined by a distance from a place along the FPLN. Note, if a slash or a dash is not entered properly, the MCDU displays a format error message. When the flight management guidance system receives a waypoint that is not in the database, it identifies it as LLXX or PBDXX or PDXXX or PDXX. XX is a 2-digit number between 01 and 20 and stores it in the stored waypoints file of the database. Note, when nav mode is engaged, the crew cannot modify the to waypoint active leg using the waypoint insertion function. If the crew wants to modify it, the DIR to function will be used. Hand nav mode is engaged. The crew cannot modify the to waypoint active leg using the waypoint insertion function. If the crew wants to modify it, the DIR to function will be used.
Mais 15 da ingresso não. Cara, muito legal, gostei dessa função. Quando tá em head, armado neve. Modo head e armado neve, vai interceptar. Dá pra olhar também, progress descido. Minutos. É legal que ele tá falando que Nefro tá 90 milhas, não dá a distância, mas dá pra ter uma noção pela distância lateral também. Interessante para fazer desvio. Espaços aéreos condicionados, bem. LMG. Só para ver se aí, exemplo, Nefro. Gosto de ficar testando essas coisas em voo longo assim, porque tá com pane esse não no sistema, já sabe que dá merda, né? É por 5 plane. Eu quero colocar esse aqui. Forma mirror. Lá, interceptou em neve. Já saiu do heading para neve aqui agora. Já estamos voando. Cara, bem. Praticamente criou aqui um lateral, tá vendo? A saída. Agora a gente vai reingressar na radial de novo. Foi interceptar. Não mesmo. Point, flat, long. Place bearing in. A long track. Ah, esse daqui é do long track, beleza.
(21) Write the waypoint identifier left long, place bearing, distance or place bearing into the scratch pad. Example, place, LMG, bearing, 330 degrees, distance, 135 nm. Press the appropriate key to enter the waypoint into the flight plan. The rule is that the new waypoint appears next to the pressed key. And the previous waypoint moves down the flight plan path. This operation creates a discontinuity between the new waypoint and the previous one. The new flight plan will have to be cleared of the discontinuity and some waypoints erased.
Então, Edu, tem algumas possibilidades aqui, mas é meio arriscado, porque, por exemplo, que nem aqui, eu lembro que existiam algumas funções no FSLABS, por exemplo, que ele dava crash no simulador. Então, algumas coisas que eu vou testando, por exemplo, do FMC, você está testando e se dá um crash no simulador. Foda.
21 Write the waypoint identifier in distance from this place. According to the sign of the distance, the crew may define a long track waypoint before or after the revised place. Example, AMB040. Press the appropriate key adjacent to the place identifier. The system automatically positions the waypoint in the flight plan. This operation does not create any discontinuity. The system does not accept a long track waypoint entered at the from waypoint.
It does not accept a long track waypoint from or after. Or after. Pronto, certo. Ah, dá pra fazer uma coisa que eu achei que ia ser na posição nefro, não? Barra acho que deve ser plus Campinas à frente. Waypoint. Já tá 40, não, tá 52 milhas náuticas, daria pra marcar 100. Acho que ele não, não é essa... 040 e aqui com milhas náuticas. Prometi. Ia ver se ele não criava descontinuidade e não entrava também como temporário.
21 select the lateral revision, lat rev function at an appropriate waypoint. Write the waypoint identifier or lat long, or place bearing distance. Or place bearing into the scratch pad. Enter it in the brackets under next WPT, next waypoint. Insert the temporary flight plan by pressing the 6R key. Clear the FPLN discontinuity. As appropriate. Insertion. This function allows the insertion of one or several points along the flight plan beyond the revised waypoint. At fixed latitude or longitude intervals, INCR, from a specified latitude or longitude, these waypoints are not considered as part of the pilot-defined elements. The system deletes them when sequenced. Write the latitude, NXX, XXN, SXX or XXS, the required increment in degrees between the successive waypoints, and the number of required waypoints. Example, the pilot wants to obtain 3 points. Every degree from latitude N46, he enters N the 3rd of January 46.
Tá merda. Então, onde eu usaria essa merda? Testar essas coisas.
11 in general, when using the fix info function, the flight crew defines waypoint intersections of the flight plan with radials. Circle or beam associated to a fix. When the flight crew inserts the intersection points, the system automatically identifies these points, but does not store them in the navigation database. Waypoint. The flight crew accesses the radial intercept function from the lateral revision page at the origin or from waypoint.
Ah, você viu, Edu? Não faz nenhum sentido, cara. Por que eu ia fazer um negócio desse? A partir de LG, a cada cruzamento de lateral, cada cruzamento de latitude, eu quero que você crie 3 pontos a cada cruzamento. Cara, tem que ser muito parado pra ficar fazendo essas coisas em cruzamento. Tem um voo muito longo pra ficar funcionando. Beleza. Legal, isso daqui é bem interessante. Por exemplo, assim, colocar informação em nefro, eu quero ter informação nefro. Quero que raio de 20 milhas náuticas em volta de nefro para poder ter uma visualização melhor, por exemplo, do raio de planeio, sei lá, alguma coisa. Nefro parece o aqui em volta. Ou um abin, vou colocar também. Eu uso bastante nas finais de aeroporto, geralmente, para saber se a gente está... para ajudar na configuração. Por exemplo, nesse raio do IAF eu tenho que configurar FLAPS 1. Eu passo na linha azul, já vou me preocupando em configurar. O manual é muito louco, né, cara? Aqui já está colorido, por exemplo. A única coisa que eu acho meio no Airbus é, por exemplo, que eu tive que dar néforo aqui. Porque ele não permite, igual na Boeing, você clica no fixo, ele vai para o Scratchpad. Aí você fica com ele no Scratchpad e depois você vem aqui e só clica na L aqui. Eu acho meio digitar toda vez os fixos do Airbus. Não permite você fazer um Ctrl+C e Ctrl+V dele.
Write the reference fix ident into the scratchpad, for example, POI, and enter in 1L. Note, it may be any database or pilot-defined fix. Write the radial into the scratchpad, for example, 120 degrees, and enter in 2L. Note, the defined radial appears as a blue dashed line on the ND if the radial line intersects the active flight plan. An asterisk is displayed next to the entered radial and degree sign. The system computes the time, distance to go, and the altitude at the intersection point. Up to 2 radials can be entered.
É 2 radiais, então. Permitir.
Select in 2L or 3L the required radial to insert the associated waypoint into the flight plan. When a radial has been inserted into the flight plan, an additional radial from the selected waypoint can be inserted as well in the flight plan. The system automatically assigns its ident as the 3 first characters of the reference fix ident, followed by the radial, for example, ABC 140. The blue dashed line disappears from the ND.
Circle Perceptible.
Write the reference fix identifier into the scratch pad, here POI, and enter it 1L. Write the circle radius in the scratch pad, here 20 nm. And enter it 4L. The defined circle appears as a blue dash circle on the ND. If the circle intersects the active flight plan, the system computes the time. A long path distance to go in altitude at the first intersection point from the current aircraft position. Select the required radius to insert the associated waypoint into the flight plan if needed. The system automatically assigns its ident as AD, followed by the radius and followed by the three first characters of the reference fix ident, example D020 POI. The blue dash circle disappears from the ND.
Isso é legal porque ele já dá qual que é o lado para atingir aquela posição. Acaba sendo acho que não compensa nenhum dos dois, né, cara? Nem o trabalho e nem o custo fazer isso. O manual já está razoavelmente bem funcional, né? Desde 1980 as pessoas têm treinado em cima disso. Vem passando por melhorias, mas aqui tá bom ainda.
The system automatically assigns its ident as AD, followed by the radius, and followed by the three first characters of the reference fix ident, example D020 POI. The blue dash circle disappears from the ND.
Parábola. There's 13.
Write the reference fix identifier into the scratch pad, here POI, and enter it 1L. Select the abeam prompt 5L. A blue dash line from the reference fix and perpendicular to the flight plan appears on the ND. The system computes the radial, time, distance to go, altitude and predictions related to the waypoint abeam the reference fix.
Spoilers. Reverse green. Decel. 70 knots.
Pegar chique. Terra Brava, forma que a gente possa aqui perto. Bim. 098. 319 no momento. Ah lá, esse é interessante, ó. Eu acho legal porque a gente usa muito no dia a dia. Por exemplo assim, informe-no através de Terra Brava Juliette Uniforme. Então a gente sabe que ele vai passar através de Juliette Uniforme se ele tiver exatamente na radial aqui, mais ou menos 309 ele vai aparecer aqui. 319. Radial 319 e a gente consegue ver também o tempo lá, né? 1408 vai ser o cruzamento daquela radial. Onde está. Radial não, né? Vai ser o cruzamento de Terra Brava Juliette Uniforme. Acaba sendo. A gente usa bastante, né, no dia a dia, porque o controle acaba pedindo informação bastante.
The system automatically assigns its identifier as AB, followed by the first five characters of the reference fix identifier, example ABXYZ. The blue dashed line disappears from the ND. YYL the pilot may define a new destination and insert it via the lateral revision page. The pilot may then call up the new destination from any waypoint along the flight plan, except the from waypoint, the destination, and the missed approach waypoint. When the new destination has been inserted, a flight plan discontinuity appears between the revision waypoint and the new destination. All waypoints beyond the revision waypoint, including the previous destination and associated missed approach, are deleted.
Esse daqui é bem legal, né, do ABIM. Às vezes o controle fala muito isso pra gente. No través da posição tal, informe o tempo, informe estimado para através da posição tal, né? Aí você consegue muito fácil ali. A partir de
21 select the lateral revision function at an appropriate waypoint. Write the new destination in the scratch pad. Enter it in the brackets under new dest. Insert the temporary flight plan 6R key. And complete the flight plan to the new destination.
Aí ele vai completar Plano de voo até o Nedes.
11 General. This section describes holding patterns. Associated guidance and flight crew procedures. The Flight Management and Guidance Computer, FMGC, has 3 types of holding patterns that the pilot can use in a flight plan. 12 Hold to fix, HF. The holding pattern is always part of an arrival or departure procedure. The aircraft flies at once and then automatically exits the holding pattern at the fix. The predicted speed in the holding pattern is the lowest of the ICAO speed limit, max endurance speed, or any speed constraint. Guidance to the fix in the holding pattern is similar to that on any leg of a flight plan. The HF patterns are part of the navigation database and cannot be created by the crew. Guidance to the fix in the holding pattern is similar to that on any leg of a flight plan. The HF patterns are part of the navigation database and cannot be created by the crew. The aircraft flies the hold until it reaches the specified altitude. Then, it automatically exits the hold at the fix. The predicted speed for the holding pattern is the lowest of the ICAO speed limits, the max endurance speed, or any speed constraint. The aircraft flies the hold until it reaches the specified altitude. Then, it automatically exits the hold at the fix. The predicted speed for the holding pattern is the lowest of the ICAO speed limits, the max endurance speed, or any speed constraint. 21 The size of the holding pattern is a function of the predicted speed. Guidance in a hold to altitude, HA, is similar to that for any leg of a flight plan. The hazard in the navigation database. As part of the arrival or departure procedures and cannot be created by the crew. This type of holding pattern may be part of an arrival procedure. Or the flight crew may enter it at the present position or at any flight plan waypoint. The flight crew will use this type of holding pattern to comply with a defined procedure or a clearance limit. Or to meet an operational need, such as losing altitude, holding for weather improvement, or absorbing an ATC delay. This type of holding pattern is exited according to the flight crew's decision. Not automatically. There are 3 types of HMs and all are modifiable.
Database. Tá vendo? Já volta mais uma página que o manual tá colorido.
If the holding pattern is part of the database, all its associated data, inbound course, turn direction, time, distance, are defined in the database. The flight crew can modify this data. If the holding pattern is not in the database, the FMS designs a holding pattern and proposes it to the flight crew. The associated data consists of default values that the flight crew can modify. If the flight crew inserts into the active FPLN a holding pattern that is manually corrected from a hold defined by the FMS, the hold at page displays. The 2R field displays revert TODATABASE or revert to computed prompt for flight crew to restore the defined data by the FMS. Predictions and guidance associated with a HEM holding pattern, hold WITHMANUAL termination, before deceleration IF and altitude constraint is defined at the hold entry fix. Then the FMS duplicates this constraint in the hold exit. However, different constraints may be inserted at entry and exit fixes, although the hold is inserted in the flight plan. The FMS does not take it into account for predictions until the aircraft enters the hold. However, if the hold is not deleted by the flight crew, the FMS schedules a deceleration point and displays it on the ND.
Hold, left, target 3. Tá.
The FMS predicts the estimated time and amount of fuel remaining at which the aircraft must exit holding, so as to comply with the fuel policy specified on the fuel prep page. When the aircraft enters the holding pattern, the FMS revises all predictions and assumes the aircraft will fly one turn of the holding pattern.
Se tivesse como colocar aqui a quantidade de holds.
21 Each time the aircraft flies over the holding fix, the FMS updates the predictions for one more holding circuit.
One more hold. Dá pra ter uma predição também. Faz o cálculo -3, né?
Upon reaching the speed change pseudo waypoint, the FMS either causes the aircraft to decelerate to the hold speed if managed speed IS active and nav mode engaged, or display set hold speed on the MCDU and SCTHOLD speed on the PFD. If the flight crew selected a speed target, the default hold speed is the lowest of the following: maximum endurance speed ICAO limit holding speed constraint, if any. When no specific speed limit applies, the default hold speed is approximately equal to the following: green dot speed on the A318, A319, A320, CFM or PW, and A321, or green dot plus 20 knots for altitude lower than 20,000 feet on the A320 IAE, or green dot plus 5 knots for altitude higher than 20,000 feet. On the A320 IAE, the flight plan predictions for time and fuel do not yet consider that the hold will be flown. However, the ND shows the hold entry and holding pattern trajectory.
Dot sempre, dot mais 20 pés, abaixo de 20 pés, dot mais 5 pés.
Deceleration receives priority, so that when in day mode, the aircraft will deviate above the descent path to decelerate. VDEV becomes positive on the PROG page. The FPLN displays IMM exit prompt.
Faz uma paralela.
The flight crew presses the key next to IMM exit. Before arriving at the holding fix, the aircraft will not enter the holding pattern, but will resume its applicable managed speed of the current flight phase. The aircraft enters the hold. The hold page displays the associated holding data.
Fine.
The FMS assumes that the aircraft will fly one turn of the holding pattern and revises the predictions accordingly, when the holding pattern is defined by a leg time and not a leg distance. The FMS revises the size of the hold as a function of the target speed. If managed speed is active, the FMS uses the predicted holding speed to calculate the size of the holding pattern. If the selected speed is active, the FMS uses the target speed selected by the flight crew at the entry fix sequencing to calculate the size of the holding pattern. The VDEV displayed on the PFD and the PROG page. When the aircraft is the difference between the aircraft's current altitude and the altitude at which it should view when it reaches the hold exit fix in order to be correctly positioned on the descent path. A320, A321. With IMM exit pressed, aircraft in the holding pattern, the predictions and guidance assume that the aircraft is immediately returning to the hold fix, sequencing the hold fix. The aircraft exits the holding pattern and resumes its navigation. The flight plan page displays resume hold instead of IMM exit. Procedure at position 1. If the flight crew selects IMM exit, the aircraft will exit at the next fix over fly. At position 2. If the flight crew selects IMM exit, the aircraft will make an immediate turn to the fix where the hold will be exited.
Eu também estava na dúvida. Na posição 2, se eu der um exit hold, ele dá um next na posição.
If managed speed is active, the FMS sets the target speed to the applicable speed of the current phase. For example, speed constraint, econ speed, or speed limit. The FMS then assumes that the flight crew will continue on the descent path if the aircraft is indescent. Day mode is engaged. The following applies. The holding pattern is never included in the descent path computation. The flight crew cannot enter altitude and speed constraints at the hold exit fix. This is only allowed at the hold entry fix. The vertical guidance in the HEM during the descent phase is set to -1,000 feet per minute, but the FMS considers altitude constraints that will take effect farther down the flight path. The FMS will not allow the aircraft to descend below the next altitude constraint, neither to the FCU selected altitude. If the aircraft reaches the next altitude constraint, it will level off and the ALTCST mode will engage.
Faz sentido.
With resume hold pressed IF. With resume hold pressed IF, the flight crew presses the key next to resume hold. The aircraft remains in the holding pattern, and IMM exit is displayed again. 21 after that, each time the aircraft flies over the holding fix, the FMS updates the predictions for one more holding circuit. Holding pattern entries. The FMS offers 3 types of entry into holding patterns. 1. Direct entry. 2. Teardrop entry. 3. Parallel entry.
Graus. Capture. Captura do hold. Down there.
If the leg the aircraft is flying toward the holding fix is on a limit between a teardrop entry and a parallel entry, the FMS may compute and display either of the two entries. The flight crew should keep this in mind, and should not assume that the FMS is malfunctioning. If the flight plan leg toward the hold entry fix is on a course that is the reciprocal of the inbound course of the holding pattern, the aircraft will fly a parallel entry. If the leg the aircraft is flying toward the holding fix is on a limit between a teardrop entry and a parallel entry, the FMS may compute and display either of the two entries. The flight crew should keep this in mind, and should not assume that the FMS is malfunctioning. If the flight plan leg toward the hold entry fix is on a course that is the reciprocal of the inbound course of the holding pattern, the aircraft will fly a parallel entry.
É mais fácil para ele executar.
The hold prompt allows the flight crew to enter a hold with manual termination, HEM. At the revised waypoint or at the present position, the flight crew accesses the hold page from a lateral revision at the present position, PPOs, or at a waypoint. 21 select lateral revision at present position, PPOs, or an applicable waypoint. Press the hold prompt. 3L ATMPYFPLN is created and if applicable. The database hold is proposed. If no database hold is available, the computed hold is proposed. Check and if necessary, modify the hold data. Check the temporary flight plan and insert it. If appropriate.
Passando através de jet uniforme. Isso aqui eu não sabia. 050 insert. Eu sempre tive dúvida como fazer hold na present position. Agora eu descobri. Bem legal. Não sabia como fazer, vou fazer ela completa aqui, aí eu já dou pra testar a saída, posição. Select lateral revision at present position or waypoint, press hold. Então sempre tem como você criar na present position, tá, o primeiro ponto aqui, né? Aqui teoricamente dentro da linha de flight plan é o present position. Aí dá um hold, ele já coloca aqui hold at present position. Interessante. Sabia? É nova para mim.
Clear the hold directly in the flight plan, as can be done for a normal waypoint.
Offsets, holds, vou usar.
12 general offset allows the flight crew to define an offset of the active flight plan. The offset can be immediate or deferred to start on a downstream leg. The offset will end by default or at opera plan end waypoint. Additionally, the flight crew can specify the intercept angle used for the transitions to and from the offset path. In most cases, the pilot will use it en route because of an ATC clearance, or to avoid bad weather expected along the flight plan route. This page is accessed from LAT ref page at the from waypoint or at any waypoint down path of the flight plan, except the destination airport. After inserting the offset in the flight plan page shows OFST in its title. Left or right arrows are displayed on every label line between the start and end waypoints of the offset. And the navigation display shows the offset flight plan with a solid green line and the original flight plan with a dashed green line. The offset is cleared automatically, holding pattern, approach, or manually with a clear CLR key, or by entering O in the offset value field 1L, or by using the delete prompt in the offset page. Note, if the pilot enters an offset when the aircraft is too close to the waypoint, the FMGS may refuse to accept it, in which case the MCDU displays the entry auto FRANGE message.
Out of range. Vamos usar. Já reduziu para green dot speed. Fazer manualmente a órbita, né, Samuel? Realmente na presente posição fica muito fácil aqui. Agora eu realmente desconhecia, cara. É legal quando, por exemplo, às vezes a gente tá voando na Ival aqui, sai pra fazer outra coisa, aí a hora que você retorna, você tá no ponto ideal de descida e tá alto pra caramba, né? Aí pode colocar no present position selecionando a primeira posição ali, né? Então você vem no FMC, a primeira posição aqui, toda vez que você clica nela, ela entende como present position. Dá um hold, ó, ele fala, ó, present position, então executar lá. Como a gente já está dentro do hold, então ele já fica meio que... Para sair desse hold agora em present position, um pouquinho diferente das outras holds lá, ele apareceria aquele hold discontínuo ali, né? Ó, ele apareceria assim, né? Tem umas páginas aqui pra cima que mostram. Olha lá, ó. E aparecer esse daqui, né? Exit. Aí você colocaria, clicava nela, vai dar um resume hold. E aí ele continuaria o fixo, continuaria o voo, né? E retornando para a rota usando uma dessas duas condições aqui, né? Você seleciona para sair do hold, a partir da posição 2 aqui, ó, ele vai dar um direct na posição saída. Ou se você está na reta final já do hold, né? Então sair ele já vai direto para cá. Esse caso vai ficar um pouco diferente no nosso caso aqui, né? Para nossa saída vai ficar um pouco diferente. Olha, ele já está entrando agora na reta final aqui para sair do procedimento. Muito provável que eu vou ter que dar um direct yes main, porque dentro do flight plan ele está essa zona aqui, tá vendo? Então, deixa eu ver. Vou ver aqui se dando um delete aqui. Olha lá, dá para ver também. Vou ver se ele vai sair na primeira, porque teoricamente ele nesse temporário aqui ele não vai ficar preso. Ó, vamos ver o hold aqui. Olha lá, tá 060 revert to hold at HMX. Então não é HMX que ele faça o hold. Tá preso na posição atual. O HMX ele já passou, na verdade. Acho que ele está fazendo errado aqui. Muito provável que para sair desse hold a gente vai ter que colocar isso daqui, não. Um direct na próxima posição. Aí ele já vai em rota de novo. Bom, são várias possibilidades, né? Ou você clicar em exit lá quando é um hold em cima de algum fixo já pronto. Ou nesse meu caso aqui, achei mais fácil fazer isso, né? Já dar um direct na próxima da rota. Também é funcional. Offset é algo que eu não uso. Vou usar aqui. Offset acho que nas transoceânicas da vida aí a gente vai usar para facilitar a separação. Offset 0. É o mínimo, é uma mínima. Faz esse processo. É, faz sentido. Tava manual e aí quando chegou nele saiu, né? Ah, mas a Aerosoft também, pelo amor de Deus, né? Tô fazendo essas funções mais avançadas aqui porque realmente dizem que o Fenix é bem completinho. Eu fazia muito isso no FSLABS, né? O FSLABS tinha era bem mais funcional essas funções aqui. O FSLABS dava pra confiar. The offset is cleared manual or enter the offset value. So use let's
Offset allows the flight crew to define an offset of the active flight plan. The offset can be immediate or deferred to start on a downstream leg. The offset will end by default or at opera plan end waypoint. Additionally, the flight crew can specify the intercept angle used for the transitions to and from the offset path. In most cases, the pilot will use it en route because of an ATC clearance. Or to avoid bad weather expected along the flight plan route. This page is accessed from LAT ref page at the from waypoint or at any waypoint down path the flight plan. Except the destination airport. After inserting the offset in the flight plan page shows OFST in its title. Left or right arrows are displayed on every label line between the start and end waypoints of the offset. And the navigation display shows the offset flight plan with a solid green line and the original flight plan with a dashed green line.
Pode dar clear no offset ou dar uma letra O.
If the pilot enters an offset when the aircraft is too close to the waypoint, the FMGS may refuse to accept it, in which case the MCDU displays the entry auto FRANGE message.
Offset. Caralho, até o ângulo de interceptação. Beleza. Pode colocar offset. Ah, você tem que colocar a letra também, né? Então é one right, offset, realmente mídia.
Spoilers.
Hold. One right. We're out of range. A gente está muito próximo já, eu acho. É, tava bem na... Tinha acabado de bloquear o fixo. Fechou. Então vamos pro próximo. Então impugn, offset, data, search. Aí o offset, família, direita da rota. Eu não vi onde coloca aquele ângulo de interceptação que nele. Offset. Teria que abrir essa. esse daqui realmente ele tá simulado ali. Tá bem básico o motor. É um direct. Vai tirar o offset. Legal também. Esse aqui a gente pode usar para desvio meteorológico, conforme o próprio manual diz aqui, meteorológico ou até mesmo não. Route ATC durante bad weather. Searching offset.
OFFSETSCLECT lat ref page at a waypoint. Select offset function by pressing 2L. Write the required offset value and direction, for example, L5 or 5L. And enter it into 1L field. Check or insert the start WPT from the list in 3L. 5L fields or manually enter it. Check or enter the INTCP angle in 1R field. Check or insert the NWPT from the list in 3R. 5R fields or manually enter it. Press insert in 6R field to activate the offset.
Realmente no offset aqui ele tá bem basiquinho. Para falar onde você entra, qual ângulo que você quer entrar no offset, qual ângulo você quer terminar o offset e o ângulo que você quer terminar o offset também. Bem diferente. Bem básico no computador.
Azul 4763, good morning. Radar contact. QNH is 1018.
O cancelamento pode ser feito de duas formas, direct to waypoint ou lateral review from offset. Dá um clique lá no set value. Offset 0, dá um clear.
The alternate function performs two actions. It reviews and defines alternate airports and inserts them into the flight plan. It allows a diversion to be activated through the enable ALTN command. Several alternate airfields may be stored in the database and assigned to a destination. When the pilot selects a company route, CORTE, or a city pair, the computer strings the preferred alternate into the active flight plan. The pilot may review the alternate airports on the ALTN page and, if the one selected is not suitable because of weather or fuel considerations, another alternate may be strung into the active flight plan. 21. The pilot may define an additional alternate airport into the list, if necessary. The alternate page shows the track and distance, airway or direct, between destination and alternate, as well as fuel management data, extra fuel, assuming the associated airfield is the alternate airport. This data will help the pilot change the preferred alternate. If necessary, access the alternate page through the ALTN prompt on the lat ref page at destination. Alternate airfields are attached to the destination. If weather and destination airfield conditions permit, you may select no ALTN. Fuel predictions will be computed without alternate fuel. A320, A321.
Isso daqui já é coisa que eu nem conhecia. Situação de aqui 75. Para a gente estar preparado esse. Airport Brief, Fortaleza. Graças aos obstáculos de aviação geral e pássaros. A decolagem para o pouso. Realizar operação de táxi rápida conforme a MG. A pista é completamente parada completa, operação de RT. Saída pela Delta preferencial. Saída pela Delta 2. A configuração Bravo. Vai full reverso. As nossas EOC da localidade informam a necessidade de saída para o lado do mar. Então, no nosso caso, a gente vai com o Fox no meio, de qualquer forma, na remit. O aeroporto é aqui na 4.200. No caso, a gente pode subir o Fox no meio. Pegar a informação tecnológica lá de Fortaleza 27.
Martin's International Information Uniform. 14-0 Zulu winds are 191 at 7 knots. Visibility unrestricted. 2,200 broken. 3,000 few clouds. Temperature 30. Dew point 26. Current QNH is 1013. Arriving and departing runway 13.
Tá batendo então com a pista. My performance.
Azul 4763 radar contact.
Azul 3508, somos 26, ao liberar na Bravo, solo 121, decimal 9.
Liberar na Bravo, solo 121, Azul 4508. Total de vento. PLS 35, PPP de 140. Essa está com mais 5 na ground speed. Flight plan, a gente vai fazer depois de brace aqui, a gente vai voar direto com o Fox 8. Fox não é 08, 4 já espera chegar lá configurado com o FLAP 1 para conseguir fazer o ingresso ali a 180 nós. Radio Navs 103125, tá certinho para a frequência DLS, vai ser automático mesmo. Bravo Fox. Nossa. Real para chegada no aeroporto, mais 124 milhas. O de voo permanece o mesmo. Para a descida a gente já configurou aqui então de performance, dá 135 mais 140 de VAPP. Estamos dando chegada lá com 4.2 de extra, no caso de alternar, segue passando com sala. Rate fuel onboard 5.2 com 2 horas e 6 aí de holding time se necessário. Second flight plan, já vou até copiar o arquivo, a gente não vai mais usar nada de informação. Riscos associados com Fortaleza. A gente já revisou aqui no Airport Brief, somente risco de obstáculos, aviação geral e pássaros nesse horário. Vai liberar na Delta lá então, dando configuração Bravo. Tá com Dry 5 tá no momento. Passo daqui a pouco as informações lá pro pessoal de chegada. MSA de 4200, a Mora também com Caratica 4200, não vai ter Star, usa no 3, a gente vai descer até 283 pés, estamos com 1h12. Vai ser um ILS, configuração com flap 10 lá no IAF, flap 1 no IAF. Descendo na final, a gente faz a configuração, vai ser com flap full, TRF 40. Parada pela Delta, a gente usa o máximo de reverso, auto brake já médio selecionado aqui também. Não tem nenhum hotspot para táxi lá em... Se eu não me engano, não tem nenhum. Vou voltar aqui na carta 09. Sem nenhum hotspot, nada de crítico lá na operação, então a gente vai livrar provavelmente na Delta, que é essa próxima aqui. Vira para livrar Alfa. E aí segue para posição. Vamos ver aqui qual que a gente precisa. Beleza. A posição vai ser a 9 da seleção. Contato com a companhia, a gente já vê direitinho, não é a 9 mesmo. Posição 9 no antigo, então, vai essa mais ou menos 208 ou 209 aqui. Então aqui é bem no alinhamento da Lima, para não ficar facilitar o nosso táxi. Parei o speed dos passageiros aqui, informando que a gente está na descida. Agradecer a preferência de uso da Azul e tal. Aquelas frescuras. Mais 9 milhas aí para descida. Eu vou até liberar a descida já. Foi para 5, realmente.
Checked.
Pousaremos em mais alguns instantes. Aproveite para entregar itens para descarte que estão no bolsão à sua frente. Por favor, afivele o cinto de segurança, coloque o encosto da poltrona na vertical, trave a sua mesinha e abra a persiana da janela. Neste momento, todos os aparelhos eletrônicos devem ser desligados, inclusive telefones celulares. O fone de ouvido é uma cortesia da Azul. Utilize-o em seu próximo voo. Você e a Azul contribuirão para a preservação do meio ambiente. Obrigada.
Vai passando por volta de 20 pés. Descendo com 20 pés mais ou menos, a gente entra no VR de novo para não ficar muito tempo com o VR. E aí, Márcio, tudo bem? Bom dia. Cara, o VoiceAttack, tem muito tutorial na internet, por isso que eu acabei não criando nada, entendeu? Não tem nada na aeronáutica, mas é assim, pô, se você falar assim, por exemplo, baixar o trem de pouso, ele vai apertar a tecla G lá no comando do VoiceAttack. Então, associa comandos de teclado às associações de voz. Então, por exemplo, toda vez que eu falo em inglês, vou falar em inglês aqui, né? Baixar trem de pouso, por exemplo, se eu falar baixar o trem de pouso, ele vai baixar para mim aqui agora. Então, se eu falar baixar trem de pouso, ele vai apertar a tecla G. E aí, automaticamente o trem baixa, né, cara? Então, não tem muito segredo, assim, pelo que eu entendo, assim, né, cara? Não tem programação nenhuma, não tem nada de... Tudo que eu faço aqui é comando de teclado.
4222, solo aos 33, vou liberar. Na Bravo, some com 21 no decimal 9. Bravo 209, 42.
Right, não, alternate. Pausa. Perfil.
If the airfield is not in the database, the new runway page automatically appears. If the airfield is in the database and there is a company route, CORTE, to it, the ROUTESCLECTION page automatically appears.
Cara, isso daqui eu não sabia, é bem legal. Aí tem company route para essa nova, esse nosso destino, ele já seleciona.
Select the route as appropriate or return to the ALTN page. Enter the distance in the brackets if required. Extra fuel and track TRK will appear. Select the other ALTN, as a primary alternate if convenient. Extra fuel in. The pilot can always overwrite the other ALTN. The new other ALTN then replaces the previous one, which is lost. The pilot can select other ALTN as a primary alternate, active flight plan. To replace any alternate on the initial list, if the pilot selects the other alternate as a primary alternate and overwrites the OTHER ALTN field by entering a new airport, the first one will remain a primary alternate and the system will memorize a second other ALTN.
Interessante. Flight plan. Desenha o próximo. The destination on your airport.
The pilot may enter a distance in the other ALTN field. The system will compute the extra fuel in the trap for this distance.
Alternate for HLL. Search.
Campinas, Azul 4998, final ILS, pistão 5, 7 pins.
O altímetro não dá. Algumas coisas, Márcio, infelizmente não tem, por exemplo, entradas que você pode colocar, entendeu? Então, eu só faço para coisas mais básicas.
4763 cleared for the ILS approach to runway 13 with the FLZ transition.
Clear to ILS runway 13 Azul 4673. Então, Márcio, continuando aqui, não tem como setar algumas coisas que não sejam associadas por teclado. Por exemplo, o trem de pouso a gente consegue baixar porque ele está associado na tecla que está configurada lá no simulador. E aí, se a tecla G, por exemplo, é a mesma que você usa para X-Plane e é a mesma que usa para Flight Simulator, ele funcionaria para os dois simuladores, as duas plataformas ele funcionaria. Outra coisa, por exemplo, o flap. O flap é a mesma coisa. Eu configuro, por exemplo, no simulador acho que é F7 e F6 são os que sobe e que desce flap respectivamente. Então eu configuro esses mesmos atalhos de teclado para o X-Plane, então quando eu configuro lá e falo para ele Flaps 1, ele vai e coloca Flaps 1 para mim. Flaps 2, ele vai e coloca, ele aperta F7 de novo. Flaps 3, ele aperta F7 de novo. Ele reconhece o comando de voz, ele só aperta F7, entendeu? Então, se for ver, todos os comandos que você manda a pessoa, o VoiceAttack fazer, é como se ele apresentasse sinais de teclado. Os outros são callouts, né? Por exemplo, se eu falar aqui, por exemplo, ó, clear left side. Falar direito, principalmente. Clear left side.
Clear right side.
Tá vendo? É só resposta. Então, heads down. Ele vai e ele tem uma resposta para isso também. Clear left side.
Clear right side.
Clear right side.
Clear left side.
Então, os callouts padrões que a gente usa, por exemplo, tá vendo? De check de área, né? Quando a gente vai entrar numa taxiway, quando a gente vai entrar num pátio, sempre faz os comandos laterais ali para ver se está tudo limpo. Esses comandos são simplesmente assim, ele reconhece a minha voz falando isso, ele responde com uma outra voz também. Não tem nada de nenhum comando de teclado, nada associado a isso.
Predicted data for alternate data predictions are based on aircraft weight being equal to landing weight at primary destination. Flight at FL100 if the alternate FPLN length is less than 100 nm. At FL220 if the alternate FPLN length is comprised between 100 and 200 nm. Or else at FL310, cost index 0. Constant wind as entered in the alternate field of the day wind page. Constant delta ESA equal to delta ESA at primary destination. The along flight path. Distance from the destination to the alternate airport. If the flight crew enters an ALTN fuel value, this value is the one taken into account.
Também hoje a gente está na descida cruzando 200 200 Tá no 127 com 9. Tá bem errado. Bora então entrar no VR? Let's jump in VR. Cara aqui. Reset view.
Okay.
Azul 2869, pouso autorizado pista 15, 070 graus 05. Repouso, pista 5, 229.
Tudo VR é fantástico, né, cara? Se você quiser, você coloca no espaço onde você quiser. Eu quero colocar o iPad aqui. Eu quero colocar o iPad aqui. Não, eu quero colocar fixo na posição real onde a gente usa. Perfil?
Okay.
Aqui. Como o vento está um pouquinho diferente do que estava no Prediction lá, ó. Passando o nível 100, 086 com 19. Tá dando um pouquinho fora aqui, um pouquinho mais de drag. E lá embaixo, se ele não consegue resolver, aí a gente dá um pouquinho mais de rastro play. Tem uma reduçãozinha também.
Torre Campinas, bom dia, Azul 2975, estabilizado, ele acessou no pista 1 no 5.
Azul 2975, aguarde autorização de pouso, QNH 1019.
Ajuste no 0, 19, Azul 2975.
Tá mais... Tem isso. Então tá bom. Esse morrinho aqui é alto, né, cara? 3.100 e poucos.
Azul 2869 no solo aos 42, ao liberar na brava do solo 121 no decimal 9.
Tem que esse daqui, acho que não é esse aqui ainda não. O Fox2 018 tá lá na frente ainda. Passa 4.200 porque ele tá a 3.200 aqui, tá vendo? Pra dar 1000 pesos de separação. Esse daqui acho que é algum antes dessa posição ainda. Coordenação em Fortaleza, Azul 478363 está iniciando a descida agora, passando uma centena. Está estimando o pouso em mais 10 minutos em Fortaleza, na pista no 3 Azul 47.
Azul 2975, pouso autorizado, pista 540 graus 07.
Azul 4763 radar contact. QNH is 1013.
1013, Azul 4674. Approach checklist.
Approach checklist. Vero ref.
1013 set.
1015 set. Seatbelts.
On.
Minimum.
Barrel 2383.
Vero 233 feet. Runway condition.
Dry 6.
Auto brake.
Medium.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Approach checklist complete.
Ah, o morrinho tá aqui na frente, na verdade. Estamos chegando próximo aqui também, acho que dá pra activate approach phase.
Approach phase activated.
Estamos lá na green dot aqui. Acelerar tudo.
Azul 2975, solos 44, ao liberar na Alfa, solo 121 no decimal 9.
Aí. Considerar que a gente já está autorizado a aproximação. Approach armed. Autopilot 1+2. Multi-glide global lock. Quest2 do.
Autorizado pista 5, vento 020 graus, 04.
Coisa que o Flight Simulator 2020 está interessante também é que você não perde performance quando você vai no VR e continua com a mesma performance. Ontem eu fiz acho que 6 etapas ontem, longas, e toda vez que você entra e sai do VR e ainda assim continua com a mesma performance, não fica com nenhuma influência. Positivo, coordenação por voz agora recentemente. Então facilita muito a nossa vida que voa em realidade virtual, porque eu não fico lendo texto aqui, né, cara? Pra ter uma imersão maior, a gente faz só na voz mesmo, né? Flaps 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1.
Tá vendo? Pedi Flaps 1, ela já aplicou o Flaps 1 aqui. Tripulação, preparar para o pouso. Ou preparar para o impacto. Se vocês acharem melhor. Tô achando o Fenix extremamente... O arrasto tá muito pesado, cara. Assim, ele consegue manter a velocidade praticamente aqui, ó. Descida. Você não teria jeito de velocidade. Então, próxima altitude, 2.500. Outcell, 2.500. Out. Manage altitude 2.500. Não sei como é que tá aqui nos meus callouts para ele fazer o check.
5 solos 47 ao liberar pista, solo 121 no decimal 9.
Lock.
Checked.
Já estamos entrando na velocidade de flap 2. Mantém ainda que assim ele consegue incrementar um pouco mais a descida. Glide slope. Clear approach off. 4000 to
Azul 4876, pouso autorizado, pista 5, vento 3,
Gear down.
0 graus, 0
Gear down.
Tá vendo? Eu pedi gear down. Ela já desceu. Radio altimeter alive.
Checked.
Final da pista no 3 em Fortaleza. Azul 4683. Eu não acertei o call sign até agora.
Azul 4763 radar contact.
Flaps 3.
Speed checked. Flaps 3.
2000.
Refresh.
Set.
Flaps 3.
Speed checked. Flaps 3.
Flaps full.
Speed checked. Flaps full.
Na hora que ele para de responder aos comandos de teclado, não sei. Landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Cabin crew.
Advised.
A cam memo.
Landing no blue.
Landing checklist complete.
Runway in sight. On flight. Ground speed. Alto do que é VDS. Tá com 4 nós de velocidade, eu até reduzi 6, 7. Vendo que o pitch tá alto.
$500. $400.
Land.
Oi, Campinas, buenas. 400. Final da 15, visual, 6 milhas fora.
A gente tá variando um pouco. Ah, meu Deus.
435, aguarde autorização de pouso QNH no 019.
Beleza, 9, segue nossa aproximação com 35.
Nós agora de próximo. Pedaço esquerdo. Container.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
Uma flutuadinha, mas dá pra controlar aqui. Nice. Nice. Orders, reverse ring. No. 70 knots. Auto break off. Idle reverse.
Azul 435, pouso autorizado na pista 5, 060 graus.
Autorizado pouso, pistão 545.
Chegamos ao nosso destino. Permaneça com seu cinto afivelado até que a aeronave pare completamente. Os avisos luminosos de afivelar cintos se apaguem. Tenha cuidado ao abrir os compartimentos superiores e lembre-se de levar todos os seus pertences. A partir de agora, você já pode usar o seu celular. Observe as restrições nesse aeroporto e só fume nas áreas permitidas. As conexões serão direcionadas pelo nosso time local. Para os
4763, request taxi.
4763, this is Recife Center on 125.15. Please repeat your request.
Campinas, bom dia. 4154 Azul, estabilizado em aliança Zulu, dá 5, 9 milhas agora.
Lights.
Bom dia, 4154. Guarde autorização de pouso, ajuste 1019.
19 aguardando autorização, 4150.
Aí. Alto. After landing checklist.
After landing checklist. Radar and predictive wind shear system.
Off.
After landing checklist completed.
Contato com a companhia, posição 209, mesmo conforme a gente tinha comentado.
Azul 4351, solo 54, esperar alfa, solo 21, decimal 9.
O táxi continua via Alfa, Lima, aí não, Alfa Lima 2, 10 outros, prontos, é mais próximo ali.
040 graus, 069.
Livre pouso no 54154.
Campinas, Boa Azul 2631, estabilizado Zulu dando certo.
2631, aguarde autorização de pouso, altímetro 1019.
Aguarda com 1019, Azul 2631.
Airbus aí. F-View.
Okay.
Conheço essa... não. Nada. Eu nunca trapo isso aqui. Já pousei melhor já aqui em Fortaleza, mas estava variando muito. Então fica muita alteração de motor ali na final. Apesar do vento estava calmo, a alteração estava muito intensa, né? Tipo, não deu conta não. Set flight director off.
Flight director offset.
Táxi lá. Graus de temperatura lá fora. Delícia.
Azul 4154, solo 57, ao liberar na alfa, chama o solo 121 no decimal 9.
Parking brake set.
Aguarda autorização de pouso, ajuste ao 1019.
Não.
Azul 2631, pouso autorizado, pistão no...
Hoje a gente vai precisar de uma high pressure, hein?
Pouso autorizado no 5 Azul 26.
Eu acho que Recife, Fortaleza ainda não tem a PIL 0, né? GPU, QTU ainda não tem a PIL 0, vou disparar ela aqui.
Papá, Whisky, Alfa Delta, Torre Campinas.
Na posição em Dayatuba, agora pouso um grupo de Zulu no setor Whisky do aeródromo. Procede Serra Uniforme Bravo, Whisky Alfa Delta.
Seu pouso será grupo de Zulu, Whisky,
Já está calçado também, parking brake.
Gente, qual o seu estimado de pouso, tipo da
Parking checklist.
pessoas a bordo?
Parking checklist. Parking brake or chocks.
Parking brakes off.
Engines.
Off.
Exterior lights.
Off.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Yellow electrical pump.
Off.
ATC.
Standby.
Parking checklist completed.
3 minutos. Para aqui. Vou ver como é que tá a cabine. Olha, cara, acabamos de chegar, já tá com 27 graus. Não, 26, né? 27 lá fora com roda. É, o bagulho aqui não tem brincadeira não, cara.
Azul 2631 no solo 59 ao liberar na Alfa. Chama o solo 121 no decimal 9.
Alfa libera no 219, Azul 2631.
Tá, viu? Mantém ainda vai poder
Azul 5093, informação de tráfego, helicóptero.
usar a elétrica da avião.
Vai pousar no setor Whisky, sem interferir com a sua...
Pode desconectar do VR.
5093 tem o pouso autorizado. Pista no 5070 graus 05 lá.
Repousão no...
Oi, Campinas. Bom dia, Azul 237, letra 5.
Bom dia, Azul 2837, continua aproximação.
Pouso horrível.
Altímetro agora 108, informação de tráfego, helicóptero Alfa Sierra 50. Vai pousar no setor Whisky sem interferir com a sua aproximação.
Sítio 998
Tá fazendo uma configuração aqui, tá muito pertinho.
Já avisou colocar do pouso e vai impressão final para bolsa.
Gente, Whisky Alfa
Os
Delta.
laterais estão muito...
Um Airbus na curva.
Então dá pra aumentar pra
5 e um ATR. A 7 milhas da cabeceira 1. Ajuste de altímetro 1018. O vento em Campinas, 050 graus, 049.
Grato, o Alfa Delta. Agora reportará na nova decolagem.
O seu estimado para decolagem, nosso planejamento?
Acredito em torno de 5 minutos.
A saída será por Indaiatuba mesmo?
Afirmativo, senhor.
Gente.
Tô tentando fazer uma calibração para esse... Tá complicado, né?
Azul 5093, solo 01, não liberar na Bravo, chão solo 121 no decimal 9. Libera Bravo, solo 21.
Beleza, pessoal. Mais uma live concluída aí.
Igualmente.
Finalizando por aqui, talvez eu faça mais uma mais tarde para poder fazer o retorno agora para Campinas. Abraço aí, bom domingo para todo mundo. Até mais.